That's from E3 1999. Hello,
Oh,
everybody.
classic.
Welcome to the Nitro Podcast Beta 10. It is another chance to meet with you virtually because we love spending time with you. Even though, Mary Young, let me tell you something. Guess how
Yes.
many entries? Guess how many entries for the pair of um, Navi 3D spatial audio headsets?
Gee, that's a good question. I don't know. How many
Zero.
people like the
Zero.
maybe
Zero.
what? Zero?
Zero. Zero.
What? No one wants to
Zero.
look. I'll take the
No one.
headsets and holy.
I might have to just send it to you. We'll give him another week. It was buried at the end of the show. So for those
Yeah.
people who don't watch all the way, it's a long show, 2.5 hours, and I've completely dropped the ball on putting clips up. But there's so much going on in the world, right? I feel like every
Yeah.
day the world is like a giant cogwheel, and every day is like another. And then you think, oh man, tomorrow is not going to be wacky. And then something wacky happens, right? Like, didn't they just charge Biden's son with a couple of like crimes and just sweep it away? He
Yeah.
doesn't have to go to
He
jail
took
or
a
anything. Right.
he took a plea.
I think a guy once stole a $1 candy bar and they put him in jail for like a week just to make a
Oh
point.
yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. No, it's
I
it's
just,
it's crazy. Like, money
also,
money
I know,
talks.
yeah, I know that I've talked over the years back. It was 2000. I don't know the last time we did live from my garage studio in Valley Village, but whatever that
Right, right.
was, I talked about that show, Foil, Freedom of Information Live. Right? Remember, I was going to do this
Mm-hmm.
like conspiracy show, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
no, because I'll be murdered instantly,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
totally would have happened. But my point is, a lot of the stuff that I talked about then,
Yeah.
which is now 14 years later, 15 years
Mm-hmm.
ago. I mean, a lot of it, I mean, most of it, I mean, kind of everything I said has been proven true, but I don't want to get into that because people have a lot of trouble confronting reality, right? But I think we've now gotten so dystopian. We've had the whole planet shut down for a couple of years. Okay. So I
Mm-hmm.
know a lot of people never would have put that on their bingo card, but it
No,
kind of
you're right.
was on the bingo card of alt
Yeah,
conspiracy back 15 years ago. So
it is
check.
true.
Also, the United States basically almost enacting martial law by the president, by the way.
Mhm.
Check.
Mhm.
Okay, like all of these things were predicted in online forums that, oh, by the way, have been scrubbed. Like if you go to many of those old links, like I have web browsers filled with
Uh-huh.
bookmarks. Most
Okay.
of those bookmark links are completely gone. You go, well, of course, that redneck didn't pay his hosting bill. No, these are multiple legitimate places that specific content has been scrubbed. I mean, it just has. And there's no ambiguity around whether information has been scrubbed from the internet over the last 20 years.
And it's just somebody from the government doing that, you think?
Well, I mean, there's all kinds of ways to do it. I mean,
Okay.
the Wayback Machine is a way to look at a
Yeah.
website from different eras, right?
Right.
But videos that were on YouTube, right, that maybe at the time were not seen as anything other than just a piece of a puzzle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those videos, which in and of themselves weren't bad or violations of anything, but because they contributed to the overall puzzle, they were removed. And so you can now, like, again, I can go to dozens of links for not just YouTube videos, but like all kinds of direct threads on message boards that still exist, all kinds of things. Anyways, my
That's
point
wild.
is when you go back in time, as I have been doing with these tapes,
Mm-hmm. There's the tapes.
all kinds of shit just is like, man, like lost in
Yeah.
the memory hole.
Yeah.
So, I'm going through E3 99 and
It's wild.
I'm trying to jog my head because at the time that E3 1990 is happening, Mayor Young, I am running All Games Network. I have a staff of about 36. We are about to do a deal with the NFL in which I'm going to run this NFL channel on Pseudo. And I'm kind of letting Jim Downs take more control over All Games Network. And then I have Philly Galinsky, who's really into football, to help me with this NFL stuff. And this Pseudo is getting big. I mean, we have 350 employees at that point. And
that's crazy.
As we're charging through E3 and finishing up and realizing that the .com bubble is about to collapse, right? So there's all kinds of forces attacking Pseudo's business model, you know, from a finance standpoint, from a venture capital standpoint, from an old media standpoint, just from a cash burn rate standpoint. At this point, I don't even know what the numbers are, but Pseudo was spending an enormous amount of money every month just on salaries and rent in New York. So it was like a cash burning machine. And so I'm just focused on how do I make as much content as possible for All Games Network, right? And for the NFL on Pseudo. Content. Putting them forward. I never had a chance to sit back and watch what we did on E3. A lot of the times we got back and it was like we had gotten so much content done at E3, we could just cut it up and run it as shows. So now to sit down 25 years later and watch these tape, a couple of observations. Number one, E3 obviously has changed
a lot.
Unbelievably. It's completely, it's almost like one of those things where you fill a container with that foam and the foam fills every crevice up until it can't be contained anymore. And it just explodes off the roof and ruins whatever it was inside. E3 is not relevant in the format that it was because of so many factors. It's not just because it's expensive to go to LA and set up a booth. It's because it's not efficient to do any of the things that they used to do it for, which was connect with retailers, connect with buyers, connect with the media, show them your best self. Well, you can show them your best self in so many more efficient ways than a trade show at the LA Convention Center, right? So, and they do that with EA Play Days and all these great different experiences that we're now getting, one of which is obviously the Xbox Game Showcase, which is like, hey, just show us the fucking games, right? Like everyone gets mad when they talk about anything other than that. But here it is. Show us the games. They did it. We're going to talk about it. Nintendo does it. Sony does it. It's really, it's great, right? Remember, you used to have to go to the Sony conference and sit through 45 minutes of sell through and just nonsense corporate when you really wanted to know what do you have up your sleeve, right? It's better now.
It 100%, and it's just so funny because we were look. Not I won't say we because I'll say like I came in the tail end, but I know for you like some of those presentations were literally like numbers, like literally like people talking about market share and all that kind of stuff. Like it was very very much more corporate, and they've definitely pared it down and streamlined it so that it's like okay, this can be a presentation that can be for the public. And also reinforce the numbers that we tell our shareholders and all that about privately, So it's really interesting.
So the other thing that happens when you have 25 years is this culture change, right?
Right.
Like we let
oh my God,
Philly Galinsky go around with a camera crew. We had like 7 camera crews. And so I had a crew for certain days. Jim had a crew. Stephanie and Herschel had a crew. Mark Saltzman, who is Canadian and does a lot of tech stuff. He does stuff at Costco. You're going to see a lot of him in the upcoming footage. He had a crew. And I guess we allocated a crew for Phil to do his comedy stuff. And all of his content is almost belittling, sexist, misogynistic, insulting women content.
No, I look. There were booth babes.
Well, I mean, it was
not even a thing.
Borderline foot fetish video that he had compiled as a segment. And as I'm watching this thing and encoding, I'm like, did no one ever realize this is being put out on the air by us? Number one. Number two is like, we had a plan where we were going to be live. And if we weren't live, we had tapes that were pre-assembled to run.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll be back in about 10 minutes. And then they would
Mhm.
throw this tape in and it would have all this pre-made content. Well, guess who made those tapes? Philly. And guess what it's filled with? I mean,
His
just
stuff.
some of the most bizarre. I mean, like, I'm telling you,
You picked the cringiest guy to do the.
I didn't pick him. I think it was like no one really wanted to deal with that. And we all had
He's
this,
like, I'll do it.
pie in the sky idea that we could just fill it with live stuff. Like we wouldn't need this. We were too on point. There was too much content, but it really became hard. Here, let's check this out.
Okay.
This is interstitial content.
Welcome to Common Sense. I'm Steve Villion, and today we're playing Common Sense. We didn't have any answers.
So you're
from
turning
last week's
into
show. The question
live
was,
video
what's the
game
most
coverage
likely
from
difference between a
E3
$5
in Los
bag of
Angeles.
pistachio nuts
You've
and a
been
$15
seeing
bag,
ads
the
in
same weight on both bags of
GameStop
pistachio
and
nuts.
all
We
EB
got no
Games.
emails,
You've been
no
seeing
answers
banner
to that,
ads,
so we'll
and then
give
you
the
click
answers to
on
that one
live
now.
from
The most likely
E3.
difference between a
Here's the
$5
latest
bag
from
and a
video
$15
games,
bag of
and you
pistachio nuts
get
would be that the $15 bag, the shells of the nuts would probably all be open. Where on the $5 bag, most of them would be closed, and so they'd be harder to eat. Now it's time to get
Thank
to
you,
the
Reed.
grand
I agree.
finale question
Season 4 of
for
DMZ
Common
has been
Sense. This will be
great.
a visual
Unbelievable. We're gonna
clue.
talk about
We are
that,
going
too.
to show you a visual
What is this?
clue.
Can you imagine
And you
someone
have to
thought
tell
this
us
was a good
the most
idea? No one
common
approved
sense,
this.
explanation
trying
for
to
how
figure
this
it out. I'm
phenomena
like, what?
appears. So we'll take a look at
What
that.
is happening?
Email
So-
your answers to Johnny at Pseudo, and one
You have to
clue
try
that
and
well, no, we're not
explain
going to give you any
this.
clues, but a lot of
See this
responses
thing?
are probably going to be, well, the ceiling of the freezer was dripping. So let's just say that maybe common
ice
sense
cube.
goes beyond that,
An ice
and
cube.
the
And he's
ceiling
saying
freezer wasn't
the name of the
dripping.
show is
If we get
Beyond
any
the
better
Obvious,
answer
I
than
think.
that,
So you're supposed
you
to
may
try
win
and
the
figure out
grand
why
prize.
this is happening beyond the obvious that, oh, it's just water dripping from
This
above.
is straight out of an ordinary tray of ice cubes. Freezer was open one morning, and within the tray, all the ice cubes
Yeah, I
were
love
the same,
Philly
except
so
for one,
much.
that one, the one
Like
you're
this
looking
is
at right now.
Scott.
How did that happen? What's the explanation for that? What is the most
I know. So this
common
is running.
sense
Like, this
explanation
is
for that? that you
actually
can think of?
running on
There was
the
no ceiling
air.
drip. There was no icicle hanging from the
Live
freezer roof.
during our expensive
we
E3
checked,
coverage that we spent a
And we'll
fortune
take you out
promoting.
by saying
We had-
bye-bye
Why-
and
why are
use
you
your
doing
common
the
sense
center?
hat. See you next time.
Because he's got to play 1,000 characters, and we had no budget for it's common sense with Stephen Mayer. There's Mace.
On the All Games
At least this is relevant to
gaming. Well,
So this should
first
be like,
off,
okay.
Let's start with 240 seconds of gaming. Now this is a 4-minute show.
Red Leader
every day,
173,
a
shout
daily
out.
dose, a little
Let's
saccharin, a
DMZ,
little
get some
sweetness
missions
of
checked
what is
off.
going on
Right on,
in the world
copy
of
that.
computer games. It's on the Real Player. You click on it, you watch it, you get in.
That guy
get
from
out,
LA,
get your
send me a
information.
message,
It's
Reed
240 seconds of
173.
gaming every day on the All
See,
Games
this is
Network.
this is
Mrs.
helpful.
Mace
This is
Royer,
a
have
promo
pleasant day.
basically for what was going to be on. Game time, Monday through Friday. He put in the Steve Vermillion part. So he's like, yeah, I did it. Oh, here's a Lilith bag. This is fine, right?
I mean, it's just a promo,
I
right?
mean, a clip would be better. But, all right.
Yeah, right. But it's like a
Oh, here we go.
Launder my head. Launder, 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 launder.
That's
launder
Josh
my head.
Harris's show
You turn
or
me on.
video.
You make me live.
You turn me on.
This at least is in invoking inquisitory. It's like, oh, what is that? Like, oh, phone number, love it, love the pseudo stuff, love the art. All that is
Meet the
good.
robot.
So that's good.
Yeah. I mean, look.
The
other
first
than
part was
everything that came. Yeah, everything that came after was
Right.
much better than what we started with.
All right, let's see. If,
Because I'm
maybe
just like,
maybe
what
I'm being too harsh. Here's another piece of Philly content. Let's see. Maybe I'm being too harsh. Let's try it.
Hello, everybody. This is Monty from Funk.
Monty
Stick
from
around.
Funk,
Your
a
favorite
show
show is
on
coming up
our show,
real
Funk.
soon.
Great show.
Stay logged on. Watch the stream. It's
This is a good
coming up
promo.
right away.
I'm probably being too harsh. What is this? Your window on the weather. That's not a show on all games.
All right, welcome to your weather tour of the week. Let's take a look at the week-long forecast. We have a storm front coming in from the south. It's going to be heading towards your area within the next 1 or 2 days. Look forward to a lot of rain in the low-lying
You can't even
areas
see the
as we
marker.
Get ready for the midweek, and you can expect a warm front coming in from
Okay,
the south.
on the right,
headed to
that's
your
Matt.
area within about the next 8 or 10
Matt
hours. That might
Jacobs,
make for
he would
some
do
slippery
the
weather
animating
in the
for Dunk.
Midwest.
And him and
Let's
Philly
take a look at current conditions.
and this girl, I can't remember her name. He's trying to open a window to do the weather, and he can't get it open. Again, you're tuned in to E3 coverage. Oh, look, they broke the window.
Let's have a look at some of these current conditions, and it looks lovely. Charlie, if you come in a little bit closer, it's mild and breezy. I would look out for flying glass in the low-lying areas, and we
Oh
should
my
be expecting
God.
a cold front heading in towards the west in about 15 minutes. This has been the Weather Report. Enjoy your day and have a pleasant tomorrow.
That's crazy. Just threw glass out of a,
Unbelievable.
skyscraper.
Ninja Sister says, I don't know what I'm watching. Exactly. You tune in for live coverage of E3 1999 and you get that. So
There it
I'm
is.
not wrong, right? This is bad content. Let's try another
that-
one.
Yeah,
Maybe,
those two are definitely.
maybe it's just 2 out of 3 is bad. Let's try this one. Oh, wait a minute. That's not it. This one. Oh, no, that was the one. Oh, yeah, we already heard it. Let's remove. Yeah. All right, here we go. This is good. You want to see
Yeah.
that? That's our channel ID. I agree with putting that in the block.
Hello, everybody. This is Mace Royer with another special report. I am in the Illig warehouse, the wonderful world of fashion in Illig, and let's take a tour around. And I'm going to break away from my Illig pants right now.
Okay,
Here we go.
I know what this
We're gonna
is.
be traveling through.
So,
walking through, see all the wonderful
if I remember correctly,
lined up here.
at some
We've got skirts
point,
down here.
they did a sponsorship
Wonderful
deal
shirts,
with a
everything your heart
clothing
could
company
desire.
in
It's
Lower
like
Manhattan
walking
called
through a paradise
Illig
playground of
Clothing.
You've got
Illig. Unfortunately,
I'm not wearing mine right now because I'm so
Illig
excited to see the different styles of clothing.
Clothing.
We have tons of things. Wonderful sweaters.
Illig.
This young man won a prize from being with Mace Royer.
Poshmark.
He's got 30 seconds to get as much
Illig Design.
Illig fashion wear he can. He's got about 10 more seconds left. Look at him run around. He is a big fan of Mace Royer. We brought him in here all the way from Tuscaloosa, and he's going to try and do it, folks.
Brave
He's got about
pants.
4
This
more
is it.
seconds. 3, 2, 1. He's done a wonderful job. We're having so much fun. Breakaway pants again, folks. This
They're
is
like
one of the most
rave
wonderful
clothes.
places. It's like Disneyland of fashion. Let's walk around some more. He's got some wonderful, wonderful titles for his clothing. For instance, this says Pleasureville. I don't know if you can read that. This one over here, the one that I'm
Is
wearing.
that Logan
a lot of
Paul?
kids seem to enjoy.
I think that is Logan Paul. It's one of the Paul
Project City.
brothers.
It's a basketball shirt
What's the other
Nine on
Paul's name? Logan and
made of a solid
Tall?
heavyweight material. It's a great shirt to run around and play
Paul?
hoops in, or whatever you want to do. I don't know what you wacky kids like to do nowadays. You can do anything in a basketball shirt, that's for sure.
There's one that
We've got other
boxes,
wonderful
and then
sporty
there's another
polo.
one that
This
boxes.
whole warehouse is full of wonderful, magical fashion.
Jake,
I just can't
thank
wait
you.
to go through every box here. I'm like a kid at Christmas, or a kid at Hanukkah, or a kid at any special religious holiday, or any holiday at all. It's just a wonderful, wonderful feeling to be here at Illig, the warehouse, the wonderful fashion, the boxes
This
full
isn't
of clothes.
bad,
Let's
but
move
still,
on.
it
It's
just has
wonderful,
no-
wonderful stuff.
There's
More
no real any value to that.
I mean,
I guess
as
it makes
far
me laugh
as
a little. That made me
Right,
laugh
right.
a little.
no, absolutely. And as far as like paid, like I mean, that was like basically like
That was an ad.
product
that was
placement.
basically-
Yeah.
right.
It's like that
Breaking
that's
ground.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
All right, here.
yeah, that's not
How
bad
about
for that.
everyone's favorite show? Here it is. It's time for Common Sense with Steve Villian.
Jesus.
Welcome to Common Sense. I'm Steve Villion. We were just looking at a scene from
it's
the Force
Villion.
and Allen show.
Villion.
Very interesting. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, we are superheroes, and we work I'm Forrest, and this is Alan, and we work
Superheroes.
superhero
That's
program.
relevant to the gaming
Right,
audience.
it's a weekly series where they follow the adventures of Force Now, and we go to different planets, different dimensions, and we try and have fun and also give maybe a little bit of a message every now and then.
Yeah, there's a learning message in every show.
Right. Well, great. Okay, it's time to play Common Sense. How much would you like to wager?
Oh, it's a game they're playing. I thought this was the common sense.
$50?
episode.
No, seriously. We'll wager it all, Steve. All right. For everything, let's get started. Here's your Common
I know,
Sense
but
question
again,
for
you
the
show
day.
up to see like
What is the most
Half-Life
likely
2.
difference between a $5
You
bag
get
of pistachio
Bimbo
nuts and a $15
I
bag
can't with this
of
and how
pistachio
this was
nuts?
running
Is that
during
the same
E3.
weight
Exactly.
on both bags, Steve?
Yes.
Same
yes,
weight.
Ninja Sister.
What'd
Thank
say?
you. You can't. This is almost a breach of our trust.
I'm sorry, that's wrong. You lose. All right, we'll see you next time on Common Sense. This is Steve V.
what
Villion,
was it that
and
they had
we're
to
here with
identify,
Forrest
and how did they
Allen. If you
lose?
know the answer to our Common Sense question,
Did you
don't
see
forget
what
to
it
email
was?
us. TV.
Did you see
I'm
what the
sorry,
item
that's-
was?
They did. There was no item.
Same weight.
He asked the difference between, I think, $5 pistachios and $15 pistachios or something. I don't know.
I'm sorry, that's
I don't
wrong.
know.
You lose.
Oh my God.
I don't
All right,
know
we'll
what's
see you
happening,
next time on
Sam.
Common Sense. This is Steve V.
Reed
Villion,
wants to know when
and we're here with
Jessica is
Forrest
gonna
and
come on and
Allen.
read
If you
the
know
news.
the answer to our Common Sense,
Could we do that? Could we make that happen? Is there a Kickstarter
Maybe.
we could do to get Jessica to come?
I think
read
all
the
we have
news?
to do. I think all we
Just
have
ask.
to do is invite Jessica.
No, she wouldn't come on if we invited her. I find that.
You don't
hard.
think so?
We should talk to Derek. We want to give a shout out to Derek. We want to send positive vibes to our friend Derek Hopkins. He lost his mom, Ms. H. Everyone
Yeah.
knows Ms. H from her shows, her call-ins. I mean, she was as much a part of the community as almost anybody, and she was
100%.
the motherhead of DPL.
Yeah.
And both Derek and his brother are great people that I got to know Derek's brother a few times. What a good guy,
Mhm.
talented.
Yeah, absolutely talented
And,
dude, right? Just like Derek,
And
though.
obviously from their mom, who apparently I guess raised them by herself. I'm not sure. I don't know the whole story. I never got it. But I wanted to give a shout out to Derek. He's welcome on this show anytime,
Absolutely,
even without Steve Vermillon.
dude. I don't understand
versus-
this at all.
Yeah, versus even public access would cancel this. That's kind of, you could say a lot of pseudo shows were like public access quality. I wouldn't even be insulted by that, because it was maybe one step above like community access. But at the time, what people could see, like they never even saw this. Like this is freaking 4K compared to what our audience saw. In fact, some of the videos show you what it was like for people to watch this stuff. Let's give
Right.
Philly
'Cause
one
it was
more
like
chance. 'cause
small,
maybe
right?
Very small. I mean, Burr can
Yeah.
tell you. Burr was there.
Yeah,
God
yeah.
damn it, Burr's been there from the beginning. But
Wow,
like, just to
that's
give you an
amazing.
idea how out of control our stuff was, like stuff like this. Like we did stuff like this. This didn't exist at the time, right? When you think about GameSpot, IGN, they didn't exist. They existed, but they weren't doing this.
Right.
Like running ads. Yeah, we ran ads. Whatever. But this was our weekly shooter show with the guy who hosted this. He literally, he still has the same website, and it still looks exactly the way it did then, and it makes
Really?
yeah, he still does.
And it-
he
and it
still
what?
does it. It still makes a ton of money. Watch, I'm gonna show
Really?
you. You're gonna be like, what? Look at this. Watch this. Share screen. Blues. News.
You know, it's funny because the Steve Villon, how you say his name?
Steve Heaslip,
Oh, okay. But
who
the
ran
version he's
Blues
doing on-
News.
yeah, it's like
Oh.
that show
Mhm.
almost feels like Between Two Ferns, but like it's not in on the joke. You know what I mean? Where it's like, it's almost like, oh, they're serious. Like, and I know that he is in on the joke, but I don't know. It feels like that.
All right, this is Blues News. Okay, so
Mhm.
it's basically like stories, news stories. Look,
Are you
June
showing it? Right
22nd.
now?
You can't see it.
No, we're still seeing the video, the
hold
shooter
on.
video. You have to like switch, like stop sharing. There you go.
Mhm,
Stop sharing
mhm,
that, and
mhm.
then go to the other.
Got
one.
it.
There we
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I've seen this site
it's like a
before.
blog. I mean, but this is essentially what a blog looked like
Yeah.
25 years ago. He is
Wait.
not.
So this is the
really
guy that does
updated.
shooters?
Yes, he was the host of Shooters.
Oh, that's
Steve
so
Hiesel,
wild.
right? And the other host with him was a guy
Mhm.
named Joost Schur, who is now, I believe, he lives in like the Netherlands. Yeah,
Mhm.
he's a JavaScript. Here's Joost Schur. Yeah, this is Joost. Right there. And him
Oh, okay.
and Blue used to
Mhm.
host this show. And at some point, they added Looney Boy. And Looney Boy is Stephanie Bergman's brother, Jason, who has spent the last, I don't know how many years now, working for Bethesda. And
Oh,
that
okay.
whole, yeah, like he worked on games and I think in PR. So like Jason Bergman, Looney Boy. Yeah. He's no longer Looney Boy. He changed it. He used to be Looney Boy. I guess at some point you stop being Looney Boy, right?
You at least got to be Looney
there it
Man,
is.
right?
Yeah. So he loves tweeting about movies and giving his review of movies. But he is Gearbox official, director of player services. So Gearbox makes Borderlands.
Yeah, Borderlands.
So he
yeah.
works for Gearbox. Isn't
Okay.
Gearbox the guy, the magician guy? Randy Pritchford.
Oh, oh, yeah. Is he a magician?
Yeah. Oh, he's like not only is he a magician, he's like in the elite club of magicians, and he invented some tricks, and he went through this crazy thing where his assistant robbed him of like millions of dollars, like, and they had
How?
to sue him, and it was this whole thing.
Oh my god.
Oh my God. Yeah. Anyways,
That's crazy.
so yeah, Blue did this. So we're gonna jump back to
Yeah, shooter.
E3 1990. Take you back 25 years. Now this is good. Look at this production quality.
Don't forget to vote for the best of E3 1999 at www.allgames.com. Then watch the live awards presentation
Imagine you see this
on
and then
Saturday,
you
May
tune in to
15th at 2
Jake
p.m.
Vermillion. Like this, at least you're like curious. Look at this.
Oh,
Girls,
wow.
games, and smog.
That's LA, baby. That's LA. I love it.
Still has ads and makes enough money. Blues News, yeah. He says, holy crap, it's still the same.
Hi, we are outside of the
It's
LA
like, look at
Convention
what we
Center.
could do at
I knew that
E3
guy.
back
Make
then.
a daily
We
trek
are at E3
to
at the convention center. We
sub
stole one
E3,
of their
the
cars.
underground E3 event,
Look
if
at
you
us.
will. Gathering of Developers Promised Lot. It is being held right
Look
across the
at
street
how
from the
there's
convention
no.
center. But
Look
it's
at
really,
how empty
it's
it is.
about drinking a few beers. It's about looking at some, pretty
This
nice
is
looking
E3
women. And taking a
24
look at some of
years
their games.
ago.
We'll drop by there each day. Today, it's almost midway through the first day. Jim Downs, how do you feel about the webcast so far?
This is really one of the most successful events one of the most successful remote events we've ever pulled off. The webcast is going flawlessly. Schedules are like a well-oiled machine. The footage is great to look at. B-roll. The staff and interview has really, really come through for us.
Wow, look at the camera
This is
work.
really an event like
I'm
no
telling
other.
you, we
And
had
there's really no turning
7
back from here. It sets a new
professional
benchmark for
camera crews that we hired
us
here in
at
LA.
the
I
All
mean,
Games
it
Network,
was,
thanks to interview.
Yeah,
This
you
was
know
an
what's interesting
incredible
is last
experience.
year
It really was.
there was competition really in terms of the streaming
Remember,
side
I
of it. We had our
started
streaming
this
video, but
freaking
imagine
thing in my apartment with a Radio Shack mic
Yeah.
and a crappy computer. And at this I started that in 1996. This is E3 1999. This is 3 years from my apartment where I did it by myself on a crappy computer. There were 57 people on this crew. We had 7 camera crews that each had their own sound guy, their own professional camera operator with, I believe it was an HD. They were all beta cameras. And then they went back. We had an entire ballroom where we had editors, 6 editors that got the tapes back. They would start ingesting the tapes and cutting each of these bits down and then running them to a truck. We had an actual satellite truck that we would then beam the show via satellite to an internet relay station. And then from there, that was what this company Interview did. This company with the purple shirts, they were our main sponsor. Interview was like just one of the early broadband backbone. Like they would kind of like Amazon Web Services now. So we had 7 crews. We had a lot of different reporters. Everyone had their own team, but we had this consistent narrative of like, we're all into different games. So let's not try and like cover it ourselves. Let's reach out to other people in the gaming community. So we had like this Mark Saltzman, who you'll see, but Jim had developed a very good friendship with the guys at Gathering of Developers, Mike Wilson, Doug Myers, and Doug Myers has passed away. He died of asthma literally a few years after this. And Jim Downs passed away. I believe it's now almost 5 years. Wow. And so this clip alone, with the 2 of these guys interacting, no one's seen it in 24 years. When I saw it, I was like, choked up. And when you think about the other half of this is dozens of interviews done by Jeremy Alford, who died of a brain tumor in 2003 or 4, I believe. So a number of people.
But that's not
have
that
passed
long
away.
ago. That's
No.
so crazy. It was like, and not so long that you'd be like, all these people would be gone. That's insane.
Yeah, Burr says, good Lord, how much did all this cost? It cost so much money, but at the time, if you think about it, Pseudo had, at that point, it was probably about 160 employees. We had all these different channels. Us and 88 Hip Hop were the only ones that really had an audience. We were the only ones making money. We had advertising, we had sponsors, and so we were carrying the 6 other channels. And they actually hired consultants to come in and look at what Pseudo was doing and say, how do we take this to the next level? And all the consultants were like, get rid of all the other channels and just do the hip hop and the gaming. And they were like, no, we're the network of everything. We can't just say, wow, how can we be hundreds of millions if we're just, they were like, well, no one cares about that stuff, right? Because it was too early. No, it was too early. Like you could get a better experience about politics on TV, on CNN.
Right.
You couldn't get a better experience about hip hop music or video games on TV. It wasn't served. So it didn't make sense.
Yep. Wow.
Let's take a look at what happened. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and were you coordinating all of those crews?
No. At this point, we had, you'll see her in a lot of the videos. Tara McMahon started out as Josh Harris's assistant. She put in about a year as his assistant, which is a fucking challenge. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
That is not an easy
I can
job.
imagine.
And they said to her, okay, you can have any job you want at the company. Where do you want to go? And I offered her the ability to come to All Games Network and start a news division, like a real serious, because her background was in news. She was Sam Donaldson's intern for 2 years at ABC News.
Oh, wow.
So she wanted to make news. And I was like, well, we want to make news. So the AGN news show that you eventually see that I have those tapes was all her. It was her and a girl named Wen Ting Chang. They produced it. They created an incredible array of video footage, B-roll, all serious news. And we were, I was so excited about it. So this E3 was Tara's first time working with us. And she and Jim basically had to manage the schedule. And then Kathleen Mantell, who's an award-winning director, documentary director who lives in New Zealand now. She came from New Zealand, spent a few years in New York. She directed everything from the truck. So it was 3 days live from, I'd say from 9 a.m. until 6. And what you'll see is we basically had all these packages. And then at like
Mm-hmm.
4:00, we would get together at the booth and do a wrap-up show. And so one of
Okay.
those days was, with Bobby Blackwolf and him giving his opinion. And then we had other days where other people came by. And then the last day was this award show where we actually gave away these statues.
Nice.
which
There it
I
is.
Still have one. And
Yeah,
many of
yeah.
the game companies still have them.
Y-
I remember
yeah,
walking into EA one day and I was like, holy shit, there it is.
I do remember seeing that. Yeah.
Very cool. All right, so let's
That
take
was
a
a
look
good
at the
time.
God Lot.
Yeah.
The God
Yeah.
Lot was created by Gathering of Developers. They had left they had left id Software to create their own independent collective of developers, and they were going to be kind of the publishing label. And so they weren't really on board with the IDFA and the whole like pay to play of E3. They wanted to have different things at their booth. So they every year would take a big footprint across the street. And all the way up until E3 ended, they did this, even as Devolver Digital. So this is the precursor to the Devolver Digital Lot.
Nice.
Imagine Radio had their live audio. This year, it's gone. There's no live streaming from Imagine. As far as I know, we are the only ones providing live coverage, whether it be video, audio, or anything. And so it's nice. Now we're actually in traffic, which is totally screwed up.
It happens.
Gail, did you plan on us being stuck in any kind of LA traffic just going across the street?
Naturally, you don't plan on getting caught in traffic. If I can make some evasive maneuvers, I will. I don't want to
sure
put the
that-
whole crew in jeopardy.
Like Jim
That's
could
a
have
good
point,
fallen off this
I will
stupid
adhere to sort
thing
of a
backwards
plan
and
B
killed him.
maneuver
Yeah.
of getting
You're right.
out of the traffic jam.
There was
These are
no
basically people that want to
safety,
park.
no OSHA,
we don't
no
need to park per se. We
security
need to get to
saying
the
no.
gathering
Like
event.
now,
And I will
he'd
do
be
everything in my
arrested.
power
There would be a
to
SWAT
get to that
team
gathering event
pulling
in a
us
safe
over
and
today, right?
quick fashion.
Secure, yeah,
we tried to
exactly.
pull this today.
So we're dealing with people's lives
Now,
here. You don't want to
and
just
did you ask
willy-nilly
to
drive
use that
around.
cart, or you just took it?
He just took it. And what's hilarious, and I have to,
Now, am I
I hope I
going
can
left?
find it. The year before, I think it might have been in Atlanta. I've conflicting thoughts, but the year before, we actually did our show on a flatbed that Philly pushed. We had 2 chairs, and the camera guy was on it, and Philly was pushing it through the convention center, through the aisles, in between all the booths. So it was like a mobile studio going through E3. And we tried to do it again this year, and they were like, no fucking way. But the year before, we did a whole bunch of the show from on this, literally from a mobile thing. Like, imagine going through West Hall on a flatbed, like moving thing, and having a like crosstalk interview. It was just amazing.
Right.
That's
At
crazy.
the same time. I believe it's to the left.
Okay, and as you can see, I'm going to indicate with my left arm because we don't have blinkers that we are going left.
I'm thinking we should stay on the
Inside track.
No, we'll be fine out here. We're in the emerald green Easy Go 57 cart. A lot of security guards prefer the blue or the red. I like the green myself. It's a little more fashionable. It's a little less threatening. So what we're going to do is drive along in this fashion, and we'll get there. And what a beautiful time.
Definitely not.
It's interesting to note, folks, around here that there
Look
are
at
a
Jim on
lot of
his
things that happen
phone.
behind the
Look at
scenes
that
that we are
phone.
going to get to while we are covering this event. There are
It was all about the
security
Palm
guards that
Pilot
we need
back
to
then.
talk to. There are dock workers we need to talk to.
Yeah, totally.
There's a bus coming straight ahead at us that we're going to probably talk to. It's just a wonderful event to be a part of. And you can all reach me at Century Security. My name is Gail Ford. And then you can see this is the entranceway. It's secure-wise. It's a great entranceway. It's really tight and packed, triangular, like so that you funnel all the people in there, and you can actually, check out who's going to be part of the event. A lot of buses coming through, and as you notice, they're going to give us the nod. And the buses actually appreciate a good golf cart escort, and they won't do anything to get in our way.
Now, last year, you headed up our. We had a cart that didn't have any motor attached to it.
Yeah, last year we went with a manual cart. It worked okay. It was a little less threatening. This year we're going with the motorized cart. We got a bigger crew. We got more security issues, so we had to do something of that nature.
Right.
But you see this Mark IV buses and the vans. Everybody loves to work together. There's a very big community atmosphere here to get things done.
That the tent is right across the street.
Oh, yeah.
Now, how are we going to make this cross? Because this is truly one of the most
Look at that.
dangerous things you've been involved
Yeah.
in since getting here to E3.
Yeah, this is probably the most dangerous intersection in Los Angeles. In fact, in Bakersfield County, there have been about 17 casualties just from this mere crossing intersection alone.
Yeah, exactly. So how do you intend on getting us across?
Very carefully, safely, and secure.
All right. Oh my God.
And I hope we catch this all
Oh my
on
God.
tape because, folks, you're
That's
witnessing
crazy.
one of the most premier drivers in golf cart
They should
security.
not do that. You're gonna get hurt,
All right,
Scott.
we're
Don't
actually
do
on our
it.
way. There's some actually some music
And I would
playing.
like to hear some applause
Wow, look
from
at this All
everybody that
Games banner.
got us across safely.
Whoa.
Whoa.
As you
Very
can see,
nice.
good
Look at our
representation
banner
of the
here.
All Games Network.
I'm kind of blown away. Allgames.com, interactive TV for gamers. Looks fantastic.
That
Hey,
was
we're gonna
pretty
try
cool.
and make it inside the lot here now.
That's right. We're heading up. We got the high
Look at
sign
this.
from security. It's
We
always
have
wonderful to see
E4 and
female
E3
security
inside.
guards. They brighten
Look
up
at
the
this.
space.
Gene Simmons.
I wonder
The
if we could
year
just
of
roll on in.
Heavy Metal Fact 2 is being released by these
you gotta move
guys.
your
They're
foot.
working
Whoa,
on,
hang on there. Hey now. We're live. Here's Doug. This is Doug Myers. How you doing, Doug?
Here's Doug.
going, Scott?
Very nice looking lot here.
Yeah, make a cruise of it. Check it out.
All right, we're gonna take a little cruise around.
Yeah, we'll take a little drive around. I actually have to worry about security in a place like this with a live band, a lot of atmosphere and alcohol. A lot of things can happen. A lot of people can lose their heads for saying, you really want to keep a cool, level head, drive around safely, and really not lose yourself and get caught up in the atmosphere, although it is a wonderful place to be, E3. It's wonderful to have the arrows to indicate where you're going.
Yeah.
Fully navigational. So wonderful,
And this
wonderful place.
this
Speed
is
bumps here to
basically
keep
Burning
everybody
Man.
in line.
These guys are all burning.
There you go.
She's doing it. She's doing it. She saw a
All
camera.
right,
she's like,
what are you representing here? Because I'm a little
game ever.
I'm a little concerned that more people are interested in seeing you than the game. Are you concerned about that?
That's okay. We're just representing this awesome game, the most cool. It's called Nocturne. If you go in here, you won't want to come out. It's awesome! Woo!
All right. Jeanette, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Happy game, honey. Oh,
Happy
great.
game,
That'd be great fun. Thank you.
All right. Wow. I've never seen such excitement in my life. My goodness
Hey, it's
gracious.
a lot
That
different
was
outside
just-
than it is inside, isn't it, Scott?
That was just something else. There's Richard Gray, Level Lord. How you doing?
Sir, how's it going? Heavy Metal Fact 2. First game with some good polygons.
Yeah, and I've noticed that women that are here are very, very excited to be in this lot.
Yeah, well, they're our escorts.
They're your
They're all trained in karate, kung fu, and judo, and they're to make sure that no, riffraff.
So now, when are you guys looking to get Heavy Metal out?
Probably February.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
next year?
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
not February this year.
All right.
Although that would be typical for games, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
there you go. Backwards.
No, we're looking real good because our last game, Sin, we developed a lot of technology, the AI and the scripting for making stuff move around, and we're able to take all that and put it into the game. So we're about 90% done with technology, and now have the rest of the time to do gameplay.
And what are people seeing inside the booth here? Inside
We've got
the
a
trailer?
tech demo showing off all the technology that we've put in, again from Sin, and some of the new stuff with the Quake 3. So this will be probably one of the first games out with the Quake 3 engine, which is good, because that's the cutting edge now of the third-person shooter.
Quake
So we're
3
gonna
and-
keep rolling around, checking out the lot.
I like this. I need one of these.
It's Level Lord, everybody. We'll be back. Thanks, man.
I love it. Quality content right there. Wow.
So now they're like, okay, that's over. We got to run to some pre-recorded stuff, or maybe a segment.
How wild is it? Like, one, just looking at video of yourself from 25 years ago must be crazy. Just that alone is wild, I'm sure, where you're just like, okay. But then to know that, I mean, for all intents and purposes, E3 has probably run its course.
Yeah.
Like, it's done. And
Yeah.
it must be wild, the idea that, you were able to cover it all that time, all those
Yes,
years
fun.
up until its end.
Yeah. I think remember it kind of died for a little before.
Yeah,
What is this?
right.
It's like a crossbar. Do you see a crossbar?
And I mean, yeah, like some kind of filter or something, right? Like,
hold on.
Like I think we during that time, I think we all thought, okay, well, E3 is gonna, like, it's definitely rebooting. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think any of us thought, okay, it's gone. I don't think any of us thought it was gonna be like done. But this feels like it's done.
It just has no purpose, right? Like, especially when you see like this, right?
Mhm.
Go to this. Boom. Right? Like, instead of waiting in line at some theater, you might not even get in to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Even Jeff Keighley didn't see this before I did at the Xbox Game Showcase. This is Payday.
Yeah.
Payday 9. Did you ever play any earlier version of that?
I've played the first one. Not a
played
lot.
A little bit of it. It's very clunky.
Yeah.
And this feels better, but still a little
premiere.
Clunky. But,
oh yeah, 100%.
I like the concept. Bank robberies are cool. It hasn't been really good.
I'm
Just
100%.
focused on it. I love the Unreal Engine. I want to marry it. Can do anything.
They make so much money, but I can't try. With Unreal, but I can't go.
This is really pushing the power, but I guess it is. This is a big deal to Persona fans.
Persona, yeah.
Which it's like beach volleyball, right? Like, people can appreciate volleyball as a sport, but there's some people that just love beach volleyball. They like the tournaments. They like watching it.
Yeah.
Persona.
It's like the niche inside the niche is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a sub niche, which I don't get.
I mean, it's one of those things where the Persona's perception is definitely a whole different thing outside of America than some other places, especially of course Japan and whatnot. So, but no, I feel you because I don't play Persona either.
I wouldn't even know how to explain it to someone. Honestly, I wouldn't even know how to explain Persona.
People don't like you very much, do they?
Who's this?
Sent here to the living lands by an emperor who couldn't bother to come himself. To investigate some plague that seems to be corrupting our very souls. You want us to trust you. But the truth is, you scare us.
Wait a minute, isn't that Dr. Avengers?
Doctor Strange, Dr. Avengers.
Isn't that what it is?
It's definitely magic, yes.
No, but like, I thought that's exactly what Cumberbunch does.
I mean, it is very close, but people were doing it before
Or
Dr.
destroy
Strange
us.
did it. So.
So now that you have all this power, what are you gonna do with it?
Ghastly screech. I thought there was more of a angry screech, not a ghastly one. I wonder if they have those arguments. You're always doing that, Jonah.
It's like,
It's ghastly. Just leave it as it is.
It's like
I don't.
the wrong
That's a
adjective.
medieval game. Is that what you call that style game? Medieval?
You know, I think I believe. I mean, it's. I wouldn't go. Oh, dude, this is my joint right here.
Sea of Thieves?
Oh
You
no!
play Sea
Damn
of
it!
Thieves?
No, not this. No, I'm sorry. I didn't think. I
This
thought it
is
was gonna be.
Tedekin. This Tedekin loves this game. I haven't seen Tedekin in 10 years, but I think everything I understand about his gaming wise is he loves this. Oh, it's a crossover. Sea of
Welcome to the
Thieves and Monkey
Scum
Island.
Bar, the most
Isn't Monkey Island the
notorious tavern
LucasArts
on
game?
Melee Island.
Wall-to-wall rogues and scoundrels. So tell me, which ship is right for you? A big ship? A luxury ship? A ship with just a splash of je ne sais quoi?
The legend of Monkey Island. You mean Governor Guybrush. But Fleetwood's not set foot on that mansion for almost a year.
Hey, what do you think you're doing? I told you no autographs. So I see you have a meet and greet ticket. And I guess it's not every day that you get to meet the mighty pirate Guybrush Threepwood, the legend of Monkey Island.
The Chuck has turned the memories of this island into a prison for Guybrush.
Well, well. What do we have here?
Correct.
You need these. Things may be very different
Probably a lot.
from the Sea of Thieves you know.
That's how we can charge full price. It's not. It's in Game Pass. Right? You don't pay for Sea of Thieves. No one just buys Game Pass. That's on Steam too. Cool. That must be a good
World
community.
premiere.
World premiere.
Yeah.
What do we got? Is this Fable?
I don't think so. Is it?
Oh, this is the Flight Sim remake. Look how cool this
Oh
is.
yeah, yeah. Look,
I look
they did
forward
a
to
lot.
this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play these games, but this got me the most interested I've ever been in Flight Sim.
Yeah, just to be able to actually have stuff to do makes a difference. It's fun to
Right, I
explore,
agree.
but at some point, and I've done lessons and all that, but this is the kind of stuff you want to do.
Right.
You got a lot of great scenarios. I love it.
Well, dude, it just kept going. That was the thing. I was
like,
watching. I was like,
damn.
wait, what? I can do that too? Yeah, I can do that too? I'm like, wait, that's crazy.
And the thing is, this game is really hitting its stride in VR as well. So being able to do these missions in VR is very exciting.
Yeah.
But it's not an add-on, right? So like, you have to buy the game again if you don't have Game Pass.
Oh, really?
Yes. This is
Okay.
a new game. It's not an add-on. Hey, can you drop the guys for skydiving and then go below and have them land into your propellers and splatter all over the... Being inside some of these cockpits in VR with the settings turned up, holy crap, it's incredible. And that was one of the things I had a 4080 that I tested, and I tested it in Flight Sim. And in Flight Sim, 4080 definitely made a difference. Frame rate was pretty much rock solid. And in VR, that matters a lot. And it was just, I was like, holy shit, incredible.
that image right there looks like it could be video. Like, you know, like I wouldn't look at that initially and be like, oh, that's a video game, you know?
Sony doesn't have any kind of flight sim. They have the driving with Turismo, but they don't really have a equal flight simulator type game.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that thing.
Right.
That's from Dune, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get to fly the plane from Dune. Which, engineering-wise, makes a lot of sense, right? Basically a dragonfly or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So why can't we have one? Can't be that hard. I made it in the game. It does seem like we are come around the corner where like it used to be like games used to copy like traditional media and movies, and now games have gotten so good that people are pulling games into movies and television.
Hi, Melina
more
here, speaking
for
to you from our
inspiration.
performance capture stage
Absolutely.
at Ninja Theory, where we have just wrapped our shoots for Senua Saga Hellblade 2.
Yeah.
When we first showed gameplay for Hellblade 2, it was
I
a
don't
look at
understand
some
what
of
this
the
game
game's
is.
cinematic and immersive action, where Senua faced
never
off
played it
against a
myself,
gigantic troll on the
so
Icelandic coastline.
It's
And
like,
I tried to explain to my son why people play scary things. Why do people play scary games, Marielle?
what did you tell him?
Well, no, I just like there'll be like a trailer on TV for a horror movie, and he'll be like, "Why would anyone want to see that?" Like,
Right. And what did you tell him?
I said because people are crazy, and they like adrenaline.
They're crazy.
No, I
son.
said it's basically adrenaline, right? Like same reason you go on a roller coaster. You like this feeling, and I have to tell you, like, I played video games for a long time, and I played intense gaming sessions,
Mm-hmm.
but only over the past few years have I played games in which I genuinely could feel my heart not just racing, but like afraid. And it's not like I play Resident Evil, but like in DMZ, when I'm alone and I have all this shit that I don't want to lose, and I spent the last 18 minutes, like normally you feel that in a single player game, but then you have a save point, so it doesn't really matter. And then you kind of leave that to go into multiplayer where you just kind of play deathmatch and nothing matters. But DMZ has flipped it, right? So then I have this mode that's online that can be screwed up by a crash. Like you can lose your shit just because your computer crashed. And then you can have other players influence and ruin your experience. And so this experience online has real intense, like, I'm going to lose it. Right. It's
stakes.
It's not secure. There's stakes involved. And I just don't remember, even with Madden, there used to be a point where I cared about my rank. And so I took those Madden games more seriously. But now the rank is so non-reflective of anything at all that I don't care. And I play Madden, I just play. Same thing with MLB The Show. The rankings are so abstract and not related to anything in my reality that doesn't matter. So DMZ, even though it's the same thing, there's a million people, how could I possibly compete? I'm not trying to outrank anyone. I'm trying to accomplish, I'm trying to climb a virtual mountain, right?
Yeah.
And it does seem, one of the things that I think it was Nuxonic said that he was upset that the skins he bought for Warzone 1 no longer carry over to Warzone 2. And so that's kind of the whole NFT proposition, right? Is that whatever item you buy, if you stop playing that game, you can sell that to someone else or carry it over as an item. So it'd be interesting to see if there's any real change. But these games that scare you, I don't play them. I don't watch.
I don't either. Yeah, nor do I.
It's fun. There's some people that don't just like them.
They love.
Are they psychopaths?
No, I mean, listen, some of my closest friends, like
Moses loves horror movies. Jessica loved horror movies. Ted loved horror.
Yeah.
But Ted could be a serial killer. We don't know that Ted not. Maybe we would get it. Maybe Dexter and Ted. Maybe Ted. We were getting too close to Ted, like Dexter, and Ted was like, you know what? These all game motherfuckers are gonna find me out because they have me on the show. They keep revealing my whereabouts and what conferences. He's like, I need fresh meat. I need to find a new community where they won't know the old Ted again. And he's now killing people that we can't blow the whistle on him. So I feel like we need a surprise motherfucker scene, just like what was that guy's? You saw Dexter, right? You know what I'm talking about.
Oh no, I don't watch Dexter.
You never saw Dexter?
Not one episode.
Oh, dude, that's so good. It's like
Didn't we
the
just
one.
talk about not
but it's
trying
not,
to watch.
See? But
We
that's the
just
thing.
had this conversation.
It's not a horror show.
I love the horror, but it's still like
It's
you know,
a
it's like-
psychological thriller. I think there's
Yeah.
a fine line between psychological thriller and horror film,
No,
right?
and I'll give you that 100% because I feel like, for instance, I know like I watched like movies like Silence of the Lambs, and and I would still
Silence
think
of
of
the
that
Lambs.
as
That's not
but
a horror movie.
I mean,
That's a
it is
psychological thriller.
it's psychological
like-
thriller, but it kind of like there's definitely gore involved,
But it wasn't.
and so
I believe that it helped tell the story, whereas Friday the 13th, you don't need murder people 20 different ways over 12 sequels to tell the story.
Right, and that's
I mean-
what separates movies that I usually, if I'm going to subject myself to something.
Bye, Ninja Sister.
Yeah.
Thank you for dropping by.
Bye.
She's dipping out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure she's working. Like, but it's like if I'm going to subject myself to that kind of like feeling, I want to make sure that I come away from it like feeling like, okay, like there was like a narrative that was like worthwhile. I don't want to see
Dexter. And Dexter was funny
Yeah.
too. They kept it balanced with some humor, and then they actually did. They brought it back because they ruined the last season, and I enjoyed the redo. They basically
you did?
changed how it ended. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they brought his son. He has a son, and from what I understand, the feedback was so good that they're gonna bring him back because he's dead.
Oh, really?
Dexter's dead. The son kills him.
Oh.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, gee. Oh, no. Oh, so you do the spoiler alert after you say everything. He's like, spoil it all. And they'll be like, oh, spoiler alert.
And it was cheesy how they did it, but whatever.
Yeah, I
hold
know
on.
some people
I need to go back.
weren't happy with how, the next or the latest thing. But I know, some people did like it too. So I don't know. Oh, it's too funny.
Killer Sister that he ordered. He ordered American Truck Sim, and it only had one state at launch, and still no Eastern states. I have a feeling that we're very close
Wow.
to the ability. I've seen some demos, but they can basically take Google Maps and import it into Unity, so you can drive around the real map, right? Like you shouldn't have to recreate the Earth to make a driving game. Like it's there.
Right.
All the data is there.
Listen, back in the day, what was that joint?
Oh, by the way,
Crime.
they said it's an ornithopter. Was that?
Oh, remember True Crime Streets of LA? That
Yes.
game, and that joint had
L.A.
but LA streets, like it was
Yes.
literally the streets they did something similar where they just basically like had the actual grid from, and so don't get me wrong, it didn't look like all the streets necessarily,
Right.
but
You could go to the
they had
E3
like some major
convention center and
landmarks.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, the fact that other games haven't done that, it was considering so many games are set.
I think it's just
in real
too much
cities.
work. It's too much work because then it's like, well, they kind of do it with GTA, right? And then Watch Dogs did it with
GTA
Chicago.
Well, but GTA makes they use fictional cities, which I'm not mad at.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They actually call it LA. I think Watch Dogs used real Chicago.
Yeah, Watch Dogs did have like it was in Chicago. I don't
And
know.
Test Drive was real Honolulu or Oahu or something.
Yeah, one of the islands, right?
Ninja Sister also says that we should play this because the audio engineering is very good with headphones.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks viscerally awesome, but I don't want to be terrified.
Look, it looks intense. Yeah.
Today, we're taking you deeper into Senua's story, her personal quest, her unique perspective on the world,
so
and the
funny
intimate
because
journey that awaits you in
the only
Senua's
thing
saga.
I would always kind of
What you'll
thought
see
was
today
strange
is all captured by
about
the
this
team on
game,
Xbox Series
where I
X.
was like, the woman's mouth moves weird. And then I saw this thing and I was like, oh, that woman's mouth actually moves like that.
Oh, the one that they use the actress who.
Yeah. Like, oh, her mouth really just moves like that. And I got so weird. I didn't realize. Like, I thought it was like I'm like, how's everything else look so realistic, but the mouth all of a sudden is just like a little off. And then I saw her and I'm like, oh. It's not her mouth. The mouth is actually on point.
What to hide?
Spoiler alert.
She needs their help with a promise. A question.
It is funny when you think about how, like,
It's never
Yar's
so simple,
Revenge.
is it?
And now this.
Right. I know. For real.
Like,
There's always
games
a
have
part of you that
changed
changes.
so much.
100%.
A part of
And
you that dark.
look, Ninja's right. Like I'm because when I watched the presentation and when I watched it, I just watched it, on my TV. But now that I'm listening to this with headphones in, I'm just like, oh geez, this is
Oh,
intense.
yeah. There's some crazy shit going on in here. Which is like, I like it, right? Because if you're going to create something, stop doing what everyone else is doing. I have no idea what's going on, though.
Yeah, nor do I.
Total acid trip, ayahuasca, something. I don't know.
It's time to find out. What are they waiting for?
By the way, these spatial audio headphones, this content sounds great if anyone wants to enter the competition. Send your entry. I don't even remember what the contest was. Just send it to tell us you want.
Are they?
Where are you?
Where are you?
I don't like it. I'm scared. Their eyes everywhere. Can feel them boring into her. What is she supposed to do? Do something. Ask them.
What do you want me to do?
It's like Alien Predator kind of vibe.
Our soul fought through hell to find us.
You were lost. Not anymore.
Are you ready for what you will find here?
Holy shit.
What we will find.
I'm scared, Mario.
All for nothing.
Hold me.
What is that? They are waiting.
Waiting where? There.
Them. It's you.
Arian Iran. Walter Day.
What can you do?
Missile Command. Let me finish. Finish. Let me finish. Oh, let me finish. Like I let you finish.
Your voice.
I'm not done yet.
Parts of you that are broken. You can be whole. All the grief, all the rage.
In his house.
Everything I've seen,
Raven's dolphin.
everything I've done has led me to this place.
We've come so far, not far enough.
They're shutting down Arena.
You already tell them.
Ron's going to Israel.
I am here.
He's leaving forever.
What if we get lost forever?
He's wearing that baseball hat
What will
again.
happen to them? What will happen to you?
His parents are shutting down Arena.
I will not let them down.
She's ready. They know.
Oh my God. Really, Mitch?
Who are these around you, Senua?
He lied about Donkey Kong. He played it with the wrong board. Yeah. That's good. After watching that, I have less interest in playing it than I did before.
Scott's like, no, thank you.
Doesn't even look scary. Okay, what's this game here? Yeah, tell me about this game.
What is this one? Oh, is this the no, it's not Yakuza. What is this? I don't remember.
They keep almost showing his
This,
wiener.
I do remember this. I do. Oh, it is.
It's like a Yakuza game
Yeah.
called Like a Dragon.
I liked this this trailer. I thought it was pretty funny.
It's like a Grand Theft Auto screen. That's exactly what a woman in Grand Theft Auto shouting sounds like.
Oh, what's up, dude? Yeah, dude. Hang loose, bro.
You think someone that works on a team, that's their body or face? Like that's Joe, the producer. Like, yeah, I feel like, wouldn't you want like team members to be in the game with their faces? What is the game?
Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth.
I guess there's
You get to
previous
be-
Like a Dragon games that we could
You get
search.
you get to be the naked guy on the beach.
Like a Dragon. An RPG game from Ruya.
Appalachia! What a
Studio.
sight! A verdant wonderland of promise plucked from post-atomic blight. The fruit of
Did you play
years
Fallout
of proven
76?
progress and determined reclamation.
I didn't play 76,
and 50
no.
million dwellers worth of keen imagination. From the heart of West Virginia to the depths of the pit.
Well, we owe it all to Vault 76.
No matter if you roam alone or spend your time
Looks
with
good.
friends, you'll find a
All right.
home in
I hate
Appalachia
it.
where
This
the
game,
good
people
times
said it was
never
so
end.
bugged.
There are relics to
Yeah.
uncover from a time before the war,
didn't
along with
fulfill
loads
the
of friendly
promise, I
folks
think,
to
for
meet
people.
and
Like, it
enemies
didn't-
galore. Our
it felt
world
less
is
like
always changing. Greater
Fallout.
foes
It's kind of
are
cool. Like
overthrown
they
as
have
we
these
embark
worlds,
on
like
expeditions
Oblivion,
into
right? Is
thrilling
like
new
old
unknowns.
medieval.
Yet from Appalachian
They have this. This
settlements
is like
to Nuka World on
post-apocalyptic,
tour.
and they have
You're never
Starfield,
short
which
on
is
things to do or
going to be
places
this
to
outer
explore.
space.
Think you've seen it all?
Yeah,
eh?
yeah.
Well,
I'm pretty
how
sure
about
that
this? Pack
I'm just
your
gonna live
bags
in
for an
Starfield,
escape of
like, once it comes out.
Epicurean
Like,
Looks
bliss.
pretty awesome.
Put your rad
Yeah,
shield on
that's-
and
that's
fix your
just like
hair up pretty
where I
because we're
exist
It does
headed
feel
for
like
the
they
boardwalk of
went the
Atlantic
whole
City. So there you have it.
Star
Now you
Citizen
know
route,
there's
where
a
it's just
million
so
ways
deep,
to make
like
the wasteland your waste home.
like a
And when you
personal
hear
ambition
adventure
than a
calling,
real
when you're
just
looking
a
for
game,
some
right?
kick,
It's like let's just do this because we can. We don't need to raise $100 million to do it.
76. Play it now with Xbox
The
Game
remaster, I
Pass.
think. Atlantic City, was that an add-on? Not sure.
I think it is.
I never
World
played it.
premiere.
I haven't gotten back into Fallout since Giant Rats and Fallout 1.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
It
Like
just
Fallout-
it looked so clunky. And that's like the danger. Like you don't create an engine of your own. It just doesn't match up to like Unreal Engine, right? So it's a little clunky and the network code isn't great, but it's yours, right? So but that's just like it's our engine. Too bad you don't like it. I get it. Like it takes you 8 years to make a game. You can't be reliant on the engine. You gotta if it's gonna take you that long, you need to be in control of your own technology.
Yeah.
What is this? Fighting?
No, it's a
Notice of Tsushima? Really?
no. It's a different Capcom game, like a new one. It looks
These
kind of
are
interesting.
games that I would never play this.
You don't think so?
Well, it's just interesting how like there's nothing about that makes me go, I need to become one of these kind of gamers.
Yeah.
Like what?
Like this joint is the kind of game where like I would
Like
definitely
I've
try
done
this
drugs,
game.
but this is a drug-fueled nightmare someone had. I don't want to go in there. This is crazy. Although I showed my son Diablo 4 gameplay. A lot of writing on the screen.
Is that what he said?
No, like we're looking at it, and it's just a lot of like names of things and spells and numbers and aesthetically it's friggin' annoying to watch, like as a spectator type thing. It's just, I mean, I get visually they've done some things, but the type of engine and the angle, it just is so busy visually that it becomes, I don't know, it wasn't enjoyable to me.
I feel
what do we
like you
think?
could probably turn some of that stuff off though.
Yeah, probably.
Like I think that they have it there for the people that, you know, want that classic kind of Diablo experience, but I would be shocked if you couldn't, like, if you don't want the damage and you don't want the names of things, like I'm sure you can turn all that off. You know, not that helps the camera angle any, because, you know, obviously like Diablo is Diablo, right? That isometric kind of view is what they're doing. So
how can Forza be any better, Mariam? It seems like we've hit the top.
I don't
Why
know
does
that
need
it
to be
can.
better?
Yeah.
Like,
you know, it's so funny though, because as amazing as Forza is, it's like that when you talk about games I'll never play, like I'll never play Forza. Like there's no interest like I'd rather go to like an actual track and learn how to race a car.
Why? See, that's
play
interesting
Forza.
to me. That's interesting because that's the only reason I've actually enjoyed it lately is I start to think about it as a real person driving one of these cars as opposed to just having fun. Because for me, a lot of these racing games, they're fun until I want to get out of the car or I want to do something else. And these games are so one mode. But I get being a gearhead and being like,
absolutely,
like this level
it's
of detail.
Flight
is quite
Simulator, but
exciting.
driving, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get
guess.
it. Like, you know, like there's nothing wrong with it. It's just not for me. Where it's like, like literally, this is the part of the presentation where I go get like a drink.
See, I like to see it because graphically they look good. Here's this other game. What is this? Oh boy.
No, the game is
I think it is interesting. I wonder why some people like dragons and this type of fantasy games and other people don't. What determines that?
I mean,
like I showed this to my kid and he's like, no, like, I don't like this. And I don't either. But why doesn't he like it? Is it because I don't like it? Like, I didn't tell him I didn't like it before I showed it to him. He just watched it, and then I was like, what do you think of this? And he's like, I don't know. So I'm just like wondering what draws someone to this.
It sounds to me though like right now your boy is at a space where a lot of things are disturbing.
I'm 54. And I'm looking at this like, what is this solving? What is this experience?
But you're not a high fantasy kind of guy in general.
I know. What makes someone a high fantasy guy? How do you become a high fantasy guy?
I mean, I think it's just about...
You could show... Let's say this was the best high fantasy game ever.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, Scott, get ready to be...
Well, no, but I think a part of it
and then you
is
show
about...
it to me, I'm like, yeah, technically, it looks okay. But like, that doesn't look fun. Why doesn't that world speak to me?
That's a good question. I mean, like, but here's the thing, though. I don't feel like it's a... Like, I don't think it has anything to do
Madden
with...
doesn't speak to you.
Right. Right, exactly. But I think that that's just like a thing where it's like, I've never been a sports guy. Like, even before I wasn't any good at it.
So, but does that mean that you have to be exposed to something by someone who shepherds you in, almost like wine. Like you give someone a glass of wine, give a kid a glass of wine, they're like, "Wah!" You give an adult a glass of wine who's never had it, they're gonna be like, "Oh, this is disgusting." No. You're gonna get high from this. Oh, I like the bouquet. Oh, it's very, yeah. Like that's all nonsense, right? You have to convince someone to enjoy wine, and then you almost have to drink it a bunch of times just to get past the initial "I don't like it." So I guess my question is fantasy like wine? Somebody has to go, look, I know this orc and this flying dragon is freaking you out, but this flying dragon used to be a minister in a previous life. I mean, I don't even know how to explain fantasy because, like, what about this makes any sense? Like, it doesn't.
I don't think it's a acquired taste, like how, like what you're putting out there. I think what it is it's like wine, but in the sense that some people have certain predispositions to things and some people don't. Like, don't get me wrong.
That's my question.
Yeah.
Right.
No. And
why? Is it nature nurture? Can you be born with an innate ability to love fantasy sci-fi because in a previous life you lived in cobblestone streets of Worcestershire?
Look, and that's probably the best explanation that we could probably come up with, because honestly I think it is a thing where it's like some people it just resonates with and some people it doesn't.
Right.
And I think that there's a thing.
I'm curious. I wonder if there's any official. Well, this is a question for Chat GPT.
But what I will say to you is this, in regards to gaming wise, like I do think that there's, like, say for instance, someone like yourself, you like a particular type of game. And the type of games that you like aren't necessarily usually associated with the fantasy genre. You know what I'm saying? Like, say for instance,
I'm trying to figure out why. Like, I wish I was into it.
Well, no, but what I'm saying to you is, like, for instance, like they got which I don't even remember if it's part of this showcase or one of the other ones, but have you seen that game that what is it? Immortals of Avium or whatever?
No.
So it's basically, this is being billed as like a Call of Duty type game, but with magic or for magic. So it's like a first person shooter,
like
but
Heretic
instead of guns,
basically.
you have
Heretic
spells.
was that way.
Say again.
Remember Heretic? Heretic?
I don't remember Heretic.
Yeah.
What generation of systems is that on?
Way back.
Oh, okay. Like, way back into well, there you go, right? But yeah, so this joint is like, okay, maybe a game like that might appeal to you because it's the type of game you like as far as like the gameplay. But at the same time, because it's magic, you might be like, why would I do this when I could just go play Call of Duty? And but who knows? It might be it would be interesting to see if that game appeals to you more, despite it being, magical and fantasy and all that, But
yeah,
I don't know. Because I know for me, like, I remember being a kid and I just remember just loving fantasy. Like, it's not like my parents weren't into it. It's not like they like shepherded me into, that's Heretic. See now, but it is first person as well as third person. That's awesome.
Switch.
Yeah.
Or the earlier one might have been first person. The second one was third person. Yeah, I think this is the first one. And then that's the second one. But it's like the same thing. It was like a shooter, but now you're using like spells and magic. But again, like, why do some people think spells and magic are cool? I think it's because some adult sat them down with D&D or sat them down with Lord of the Rings or something that got them into it. No,
but I know, like, I didn't have that. Like, I literally
and you don't like this.
I don't like this. I love Heretic.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play that.
Okay. No. Well, would you play? Would you play the other one?
Which one?
The one we were like.
Immortals of Avium.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I definitely want to try that. Oh, the one that we were just looking at. I might give that a go. Like, it depends though, because here's the thing: I would not play that because I wouldn't like the subject matter is interesting, but that particular game is like right now there's an embarrassment of riches, right? Like there's a lot of fantasy games I could be playing. So why am I playing this one versus?
Well, that's the other problem is it's so crowded. Oh, this is Elder Scrolls Online. Necron.
Yeah.
Oh,
right. And so I don't know that I'll play that one, but I'll play one of them definitely.
All right. So this is Overwatch, which I've never played, and it's essentially Blizzard's version of a first-person shooter.
No. This is Arena.
Third person.
Well, I think it can go back and forth depending, but it's their arena shooter. So, you play it online, like their team-based arena shooter.
Right, but they, again, can use magic. It's not bullets.
I mean, some of it's some of it's technology, some of it's magic. Yeah. So it's kind of a mix, I think. I don't play a lot of Overwatch myself, honestly. I know that it has, like, some interesting kind of lore to it. But like I feel like this is the kind of game where I'd rather like watch an animated show about it or watch a TV show about it than actually play this game. Like
this is very popular.
Splatoon is doing enough for me in this area as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, I showed Splatoon to my son because I guess there's a whole controversy with Kick, which is a new streaming platform, and a very popular Splatoon streamer did a video on why he won't be switching to Kick, and he basically just read this whole thing that he wrote on why he won't join, but he had his Splatoon gameplay footage running the whole time. So me and Austin sat and watched. While listening to him watched how Splatoon is played, and he was kind of fascinated because he had never seen it before.
Yeah,
and he was like, "Oh, they're trying to paint the room." Like, yeah, it's kind of like instead of shooting, they have to use the color to kind of cover the room.
And your color makes it easier for you to move through and harder for the enemy team to move through. So that's the whole thing where like you can't just walk on somebody else's paint; it hurts you.
Right. Oh, okay. All right, what's
yeah,
this?
so that makes it, it's really cool.
This is another Xbox Direct. Wait, once games figured out how to get you climb walls, everyone wanted to add that.
Yeah.
It's funny how like technology allows certain game mechanics, but a few years ago, EA had a game where you could, I think it was called Army of Two, where you had to like help someone get up over a wall.
Yeah.
Like it was years ago.
Yeah.
You still can't do that in like Call of Duty. Like if there's a thing that you can't reach, you can't just help some squad mate up and over. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Weird how that
Army of
just
Two
went
was
away.
cool. A cool game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this? You can cry. What is this?
It's an
Oil tanker.
You know what's another thing that I think might be a factor in how much you like people are into fantasy stuff or not is like I know for me, like I get immersed pretty easily. Like if I'm playing like say Splatoon or actually any game, anytime I'm playing a video game and there's a section where I have to like walk across something that's high. And like, you know, it's like you say you got to walk across a balance beam or something. That always
gives you vertigo.
100%. Like I feel like I might fall, you know? And it's like, I put myself into that. Like I get immersed really easily. And I kind of feel like if you're that kind of person, it might be easier to like put yourself into like a fantasy or a sci-fi kind of setting.
I'm
If you're
like
not-
that too. I'm not.
If it's harder, it's like, you know, like the suspension of disbelief might be a little bit tougher to like, you know, where you're like, look at that world and you're like, I can't get into it.
I don't
'cause it
think
doesn't feel
anyone's
real at
better at suspending belief than me, just considering all the crazy shit I've done. And most people would be like, that's not possible. I'll hold my beer. But I mean, I feel like it's escapism, right? Like we live in the real world, right?
To be returning
All those
its
realistic
money
games
definitely
you can
escapism.
get in the real
in the
world.
upcoming
I
expansion
feel
for
like
Cyberpunk 2077.
fantasy games was the original emo
This new
outlet.
adventure reunites Johnny and
Mm.
Dina
Like if you were
I can see
emo
that.
before emo culture
and
had come out,
introduces Idris
it feels
Elba
like
Yeah.
you wanted
Secret
to
Agent
escape to a
Solomon Reed.
time where
It's a
it
really
was
amazing
okay to
show.
be
Screen
a
with you, Idris.
mage
It's cool
or
to be part of this
someone that
community,
wore
man.
a bustier and
As a
carried
player,
Mhm.
and be a
you'll get to
wench.
visit
You know, like
Dark
I just feel like
Yeah.
an unexplored part of Night
escapism,
City,
right? Like
and
Yeah.
they
rescue
feel
the president
current
of the
life
new United States
is
of
the
America.
dystopian of tomorrow now. And it's like, I don't want to be in the Columbine school shooter. I want to be in magic
Mhm.
potions and
Yeah.
trebuchets.
And I definitely know that as a kid, I definitely was huge on that. Like I loved escaping. Like definitely, because you know, like my reality as a little kid wasn't like
Mm,
something where I was just like, oh, like I love this.
mm,
You know, like
interesting.
day to day was definitely tough, you know, or felt tough. Maybe I should say like
Mhm.
that. Like it felt tough, you know. So yeah, so that might be a big part of it too. Yeah.
Mhm. Have you played Cyberpunk since it's been released?
You know what? The answer to that is no, and it's sad because I have it right here in my backlog.
Oh, you do?
Like,
Oh.
and I just haven't played
It's
it because
definitely
of
worth
time.
checking out. Just to
Oh,
see the
oh,
world
no.
they created is like there's a
Dude,
lot of
you
little,
don't-
like clever attention to detail that you're like, that's kind of cool how they thought that would be how you do that. And then when you get into the nuts and bolts of like the modifications and
Yeah.
stuff, I
Yeah.
played some of that stuff in VR, and in VR it's absolutely
wow.
mind fuck just
I
to
can
be
imagine.
in those workshops and have them looking at
Yeah.
you, and then like your arm feels like, oh my god, it's just weird. But
Yeah.
you know, they showed this off Phantom Liberty, and I
Mhm.
mean, every time I try to play it, it feels too overwhelming. Like I'm
Oh, really?
never gonna finish this, and I'm never gonna
Oh,
be good at it,
gotcha.
and I'm never gonna
Yeah.
get even dent into this story. And so when I watch this video, I'm like, wow, that all looks amazing, but there's no way I would ever get far enough in the game to experience all of that. Right? No, I'm serious. Even GTA, there are set pieces of GTA I haven't gotten to
Yeah. Of
because I
course.
can't spend 30 hours with a fucking game. Even if I have the time, I don't have the willpower to plow through 30 hours of deliver the pizza to this guy on this part of the map. I mean, at some point I'm just fucking over that. And so when
Yeah.
I see this, it looks cool. But like I saw this and loaded up the original game just to see like,
Mhm.
oh, let's see
Yeah.
what mission I left off on. And I was
Yeah.
like so convoluted and so nonsense. I was like, I'm out of this. Let's see. I can't get into your podcast, dude. You're talking with get a hot chick or someone young. I hate to say it. I can't get into your podcast with this dude you're talking with. Get a hot chick or someone young and interesting. His name is Mayor Young. What part of that? Huh? I got someone young and he's fucking interesting. Have you not seen Splatoon footage?
That's
Have you not been in the Boy
hilarious.
Scouts when you were young? My goodness, Space Commander. All right, let's take a look at this because all this made me do is go, oh, this is cool, but I'll never
Expect a
ever
massive
play this.
expansion. Twists, secrets, and plenty of stuff.
I feel
to
like
do.
evenally I will
I
get
know the
there,
team at
but it's
CD
going to be
Projekt
time,
Red
and I'm okay with
just
that.
keeps raising the bar when it comes to telling.
I just don't
cinematic
believe he's ever
stories in
played it
video games.
or ever cares.
And I really can't wait.
And
for
I
you
love
to play
him,
it
but
on
I
Why
feel
does he
like
have to
he's
play
lying
it?
to me.
X and
Because I
S.
want because he's telling me how
But
awesome
enough
it is.
talking.
You
I'm
don't know
guessing you
that.
want to see for yourself.
The footage is so good.
And introduce
Yeah,
the official
you don't have to play it to know that it's awesome, though.
No,
right?
I want him.
Like
to
you'll
play
know
it,
better.
I feel like
You want him to play it? Okay.
I just feel like he should
He should. He should.
because he's
You're
a
in the
credibility
game. Play the
guy.
game.
be a way out of this.
Look at this. Look how
Yeah.
fucking sick this world is.
I know, right?
And there are
they
mods
have a-
where you can fly through the whole city. It's insane. What's in here? So much.
My name is
They have an anime.
I'm an NUS
Oh,
intelligence.
based on
you know,
the world.
Yeah, in the world or whatever. And yeah, it's awesome too.
And I can save your life. What's the catch? I need you to get to Dogtown.
Attention all Dogtown residents.
Like they have like strippers in this game too, just like GTA. But like in the VR, the way it's set up, I was a little like, this is a little weird. It felt real. It was like, it really, because
You're like,
the
"I'm
way she
cheating."
looks at you and it's VR. So like, they're really looking at you, not just
Right.
looking at the screen. Like you move and her eyes follow you.
Oh, that's
Hey,
why.
we just met.
Her safety.
You don't know me.
Priority. Shit! They catch us out here, we're dead. Wait, hear that?
I mean, it looks incredible.
Yeah.
Look at
Sure.
that.
Someone ratted us out.
You know, V, treason ain't ever black and white.
It's a charade, V.
Wherever she goes, people get hurt. Bodies drop.
Just want what Songbird promised me. The cure.
The situation's changed. I need to know if you're with me.
I do find the
Get the
celebrity
trap
thing
room, Idris.
interesting that they just still think putting a celebrity matters.
Gotta put it to someone's head.
Like I just refuse to believe that if Keanu and Idris weren't in there, that this would be any differently received. I will say they probably have gotten more mileage out of the Keanu,
Yeah.
Breathless and all that on
Yeah.
the PR side. But I mean, your game is cool. Your game is cool. I don't need Call of Duty. There's no celebrities in there, and they
I mean,
can't. I
That's
can't
not-
get
that's
away
not
from
true.
it. Who's in it?
Like, isn't like almost every Call of Duty trailer has a celebrity in it, right?
No, but I'm saying I played DMZ. There's no character in there that I'm like, oh, I gotta be.
Right.
This
But what about
character.
the single player campaign?
Yeah, I haven't played that. I started it.
Like, I'm sure that I don't know who it is, but I feel like every
I know
Call
they
of
had
Duty
Kevin
campaign,
Spacey at one point, but
right?
so look at this. This is the SimCity is no more. Now it's Cities Skyline, and it's pretty impressive
Yeah.
what they've done, but it becomes a lot of micromanagement.
Mm-hmm.
Is this it? Is this City Skyline? Yeah. But I mean, this is super impressive.
It is interesting to think about how far this genre has come.
But you got to wonder why EA allowed someone else to take the lead on this. They owned Sim. They got the Sims. How could they allow someone to make a better Sim City?
I mean, I don't
EA
think that,
sucks.
I mean, I
You
think
see
from
this
their
splitting up?
perspective,
They're splitting up EA Games and EA Sports into two different companies.
oh no, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. That makes sense though.
I wonder
I
if
think
they
from
were dragging on each other, like if sports
Yeah.
was being told to make their games more like gamey, and they were like,
Yeah.
"Well, why can't we just be sports?" They're like, "Oh, we're EA
Right.
Entertainment and blah blah blah." Like, let us be sports.
I could see that.
Maybe they know that
But
they're
no-
going to lose their exclusive, and they need to make some changes. I don't know.
I think to answer your original question though, I feel like, you know, EA as a company is probably just like, this is niche. Like, why would we spend our resources making
It's
games
true.
for
It's funny to think about like EA and Activision. Like
World
Activision used to be a bunch of games, but now they're just Blizzard
Yeah.
and Call of Duty.
Yeah. Right. And they're like,
Empire.
this is where the money is. Why am I spending resources making SimCity that's gonna appeal to a particular audience, but that audience is this big versus when we can do all this stuff and it's, you know. And I'm not saying that that's the right or wrong. I'm just saying that that's probably what their mentality is, you know.
Will you play this?
You know what? I would need to know more about it. Like it looks good, but again, it's like there's a lot of games that look like this now. Right? So it's like, is this the best game I could be playing that looks like this? I don't know.
Funny they have this steampunk game. This Clockwork. It's a steampunk.
Yeah.
Which I thought steampunk died out already. They're like late.
I don't think so.
Kind of
man.
looks cool though.
Yeah. Definitely giving off Bioshock Infinite kind of vibes, right?
That's our E3 movable show platform.
Yeah. This fool keeps the red carpet with him.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it only takes one rebellious little gear to ruin everything.
We got to take a look at this. Ubisoft deciding that they need to be in the LucasArts business. Very interesting.
That's what I'm talking about.
They probably were like, look, we can do this stuff just as good as EA. In fact, we can do it better. Give us another license.
And more Persona.
It's like
prepare for the most comprehensive deep dive we've ever done for the biggest game.
Like my backlog is ridiculous. Like I said, like I got Cyberpunk, haven't even played it. But between Starfield and Star Wars Outlaws, I'm like, I think I have to buy both of those games the first day they come out.
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars Outlaws looks definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Upwards to
Just look at the scope
vast buildings.
Yeah.
of what
It's
these guys
the
are
biggest
doing.
city we've ever made.
It's
Not
kind of
just in
funny
size,
because you
but also
almost
in the
have
amount
to
of custom
do
art,
what
crowds.
these guys have done for the last 30 years
So the main
to
focus
decide to
when
do
we're
this,
designing a
right?
city is
Like that's
obviously
why Star
supports the
Citizen
story.
worked, because
We try and tell as
Aaron
many
Roberts
small
and Chris
stories as
Roberts had
possible.
spent 20 years making Privateer, Star Commander, all that. And so they said, we need a lot of money to really execute on the vision. And they did, because they were kind of ahead of a lot of the technology, and now technology's here. And I guess, but Bethesda's been working on this forever. But every bit of what they showed is just fucking awesome.
Yeah,
It's hard to be mad at what they're trying to
By
do.
the time you meet them,
No,
the Constellation
absolutely
is
not.
sort of seen as this mythical group. Most people don't even know they exist anymore. They're
And it
the
really
last
is like,
true explorers
it
in the
looks like you could
galaxy,
just
and they're
live
trying
there.
to find the
Yeah.
answers to humanity's
Go visit your
biggest
parents. I
questions.
thought that was funny. You have to pay money for your
And I'm
parents or
certain
something.
one of them reached out and
Brukar is here. Hello, Brukari. She says her backlog is growing as well, and now she has to add Final Fantasy 16 to the list.
Exactly, right?
Look
Well,
at how it's coming together.
Final
That guy
Fantasy
said it was
16.
his personal
Implying
opus.
outside
Like
the
he had been
settled system.
wanting to make that
Definitely
game
an
forever.
eclectic cast of
Final
characters.
Fantasy 16?
Yeah.
See? And I'm not mad at that. It's like, it's just crazy to me because I'm looking at that joint and I'm like, wow, that is like a straight up action game. Like that is not even like there's no part of that that feels like like it's a Final Fantasy. The latest Final Fantasy is an action game with RPG elements, which is like, wow, that's wild to think that that's where we're at with Final Fantasy, which I'm not mad at because
Well, it's like, how do you
Square-
expand the Final Fantasy universe, right? In terms of player base.
Right, and maybe that's what I think that's what it is. Again, it's almost like what we were talking about with EA, where they're like, "Why would we serve just this
journey you
niche?"
take
And
with Constellation is just the
to
first,
Square's
and
credit,
maybe you'll
because for a
embark
while
on.
they were like
The settled
just trying to
systems is
serve
home
that
to all
niche.
kinds of different
Yeah.
I mean, not
stories,
niche. I mean, they were just trying to
adventures
like,
for
or
you to
well, I'll say this for Final Fantasy, it seemed like they were like, "How do we get more people to play? How do we get more people to play?" And they were ignoring the niche. But now they sort of like, well, you know what? There are people that want to play like those old school kind of Final Fantasy games, and so they made like Bravely Default, or they made like, what's the other joint? Octopath Traveler You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, okay, we'll serve that audience too, but obviously the resources are being put into Final Fantasy 16, and so, or the majority of the resources, maybe I should say. But yeah, man, it looks good though. It looks like a good game. I can't be mad at it.
It looks incredible. And I was worried it was going to be a ripoff of No Man's Sky, which in some ways it does a lot of the same things, but it's just so much deeper and so much more pointed in terms of your experience. Like No Man's Sky was like too sandboxy. I had no direction. I felt like there was no real rhyme or reason to what I was doing.
Right.
And this feels like you'll be able to literally take. Now, like, this is funny. It's like almost like Westworld. Like they give you these alternative kind of experiences. Now, I wonder, can you go to Earth? I said you can go to any of these planets. Is Earth one of the planets?
I feel like they said,
or it's gone.
Like Earth, like Earth is almost like I don't know if it's gone, but like I don't think. Well, you know what? I don't know. Let me just say that I don't know. But there's like some kind of mythos surrounding Earth inside the game. I think
they went M-rated. The first Final Fantasy that's M-rated?
Yeah,
is that
it
true?
is M-rated.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look how beautiful this game is. But people are like, this is going to be the shitty Fallout engine.
Well, look, people are already talking about how it's I think they said it's locked at 30 frames per second.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird. I don't think I've ever played a game where I could tell how many frames.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like, I could tell you, like, oh, it's a little choppy, but like this idea that before you play a game, you hear it 60 or 30 or 120, and that somehow is like, deal breaker. I was in a 30 frames a second. It's like, what? Who even thinks like that? But I guess there are people.
There are a lot of gamers that think like that.
Absolutely do think like that.
Yeah, 100%. And but I think that they're about pushing the technology. They want the smoothest, most up-to-date looking graphics that they can get. So I think that's why, that's their thought process, I think.
Look at these weapons. Oh my God, so much creativity.
Yeah.
And polish,
and
right?
And you can mod all that stuff. I'm like, dude, it's gonna be amazing. Like like if you're into that kind of game, it's like it can be the only game you play for a long time.
It does seem weird though that like this far in the future, you can still run out of ammo. Like, what is ammo, right? Like, shouldn't that be a non-issue at some point?
Well,
they're energy weapons.
They have energy and ballistic weapons,
right?
So you can
if
run
you
out
have
of
energy
ammo.
weapons. Why would you ever need ammo?
Well, I don't think the energy weapons are going to need ammo.
But they should never run
that's
out.
How that works, right? I don't think they will.
Oh, you don't think they run out ever? Don't you need like a battery thing? Oh, the battery's dead, so now the energy weapon doesn't work. It's just ammo.
Maybe
it's like a way to deal with that.
But then that makes sense, right?
I don't know. I just think like 0 point energy at some point, right? Which pull energy out of the air. I just always think it's funny when you see these shows that are all the future, and then there's like something like, oh, you have to upload this to a tower. It's like, what? There's no universal Wi-Fi anymore? I have to go to some tower to do this because the Wi-Fi is bad 100 years from now? Like, shouldn't Wi-Fi be like a non-existent thing? It's like air. I don't know. They released footage from Madden. Madden is coming out soon. I'm not going to waste anyone's time with that, but if you're interested in Madden, they just released a video showing all the new Buzz stuff. And it's really sad that we've come so long in gaming that I don't even get excited about Madden anymore because one company has the rights, no one else can make the game.
Yeah,
and they continue to disappoint. Okay, I have not seen this. I'm curious about it. It's definitely a hit piece on GameStop and the whole idea behind owning GameStop stock, I guess. So here is a trailer for the movie Dumb Money, and I have not seen this. I'm kind of curious about this one. All right, let's see, Mary Young. They're gonna make fun of people. I think they are.
I don't know.
Dumb money. Meanwhile, I've made plenty of money off of GameStop stock. It's not dumb. Highly recommend it.
How much did we make today?
5 million.
How much did we lose today?
$1 billion.
You got rich dudes pissing in their pants right now.
Holy fucking shit.
I will tell you, I've never seen anything like it.
Holy fucking shit.
Is the craziest I think I've ever seen.
Everything okay?
$11 fucking million. What are you gonna do? Get a Ferrari? What the fuck?
Oh, language. The baby's here.
Yo, what up, everybody? Roaring Kitty here. I'm gonna pick a stock and talk about why I think it's interesting, and that stock is GameStop.
I love this guy.
Retail traders have hooked into GameStop.
I think they think it's a good investment.
That's
It looks
Steve
like
Cohen.
there's one guy driving all the buying.
Who is this?
Dumb money, man.
Happy to take it.
Wall Street is betting that this company is going to fail. And if it fails, these hedge fund assholes make a shit ton of money. 70,000 people have watched this video.
Rory Kitty, I love you!
If he's in, I'm in.
If he's in, I'm in.
GameStop, those shares not stopping.
The stock is only gonna go up. When they hit, I'm gonna buy you a mansion.
Let's drink to that.
My brother is a fucking nerd.
Wall Street must be seeing this, right?
Holy fucking shit.
Holy shit.
You should probably dial in.
Holy fucking shit.
Do you have a minute?
Babe, how much did we make today?
5 million.
How much did we lose today?
$1 billion.
And yesterday?
4 million.
And yesterday?
$1 billion.
Yeah.
We're like really fucking rich.
Who you think gon' win?
You got rich dudes pissing in their pants right now.
They're coming after you.
We need to talk about the GameStop situation.
Retail traders always lose.
You've been served.
Wall Street cheated. Surprise, surprise.
You have to testify before Congress. The game has changed.
Who you think gon' win? If it's us.
What's the point of winning the race if you let some dipshit steal the prize?
A lot of people feel the system is broken. The whole idea of the stock market is if you're smart and maybe with a little luck you can make your fortune. Certainly not anymore.
Who you think gon' win?
There's no hope for the little guy.
Shitballs.
Maybe now there is.
Fuck yeah.
It's a hell of a cast.
Not bad.
Yeah, you think it's gonna do a decent job of telling the story?
It surprised me because it didn't insult the people who made the money. Most of these things have taken the stance that the people that made the money were the fools, and that the hedge fund and Wall Street were the smart ones, which is not the case.
No, that looks like it's gonna tell the story from two different sides.
Yeah. All right. I have a final video for us today. Unless you have a video, you have anything?
No. Like let's look at what you got, and
I got a video to kind of set up more of our E3 stuff that will come on our next show. This is just to kind of set the mood of what it was like back then, right? Like life was definitely
in the before time
different. Yeah, it really was the before time.
In 1999, it was a major concern nationwide. Let's hear more about the high-tech.
Yeah, most of that year was
last
spent talking
with
about
Drew
Y2K and how the end of the world.
Which was bigger.
Look at websites.
For others, smaller. Speed. Amazon.com has tons of toys. 1999 was a landmark year for the internet and other high-tech industries. But for most Americans, 1999 was a big fat zero. 2 zeros, in fact, as the nation and the world prepared for the so-called millennium bug. Billions of dollars were spent on new computers and fixes for old ones as we battled a problem born at the dawn of the electronic age. The glitch. Many older computers and devices couldn't recognize the year 2000. If Y2K wasn't enough, many computer users had to fight off terrorist attacks of sorts. The most notable in 1999, the Melissa virus.
We can't get into this individual's mind at this point other than to say we believe his motive was a zeal to achieve what he has ultimately achieved.
Police arrested a New Jersey man for creating the virus Melissa, which clogged computer systems around the world.
If you dare tamper with communications of this sort on either a small or, in this case, a global scale, you will be found.
New products were hot in 1999. Consumers lapped up DVDs and handheld personal assistants like the Palm Pilot. But high-definition television sets, which promised a whole new view on the world of entertainment, sat on shelves as shoppers waited for prices to come down. It seemed Americans finally began to feel comfortable with shopping online. Websites like Amazon.com registered record sales. Even the chief executive of the company was named Time Magazine's Person of the Year.
Jeff Bezos was on the cover of Time this week, which should illustrate how important a company like Amazon is. It's supposedly changing the way we do business, changing forever how we shop.
But while the government battled Microsoft in the courtroom over antitrust issues, and personal computer makers slugged it out with price wars at local stores, the big story for 1999 and beyond may be inside a simple wire.
Broadband technology, which will enable greater quantities of data and information to travel, to enhance the internet experience and to keep up with the demand for information of all forms, multimedia forms, that consumers are absolutely pounding the table for.
Analysts say it'll be the need for speed in the year 2000 and beyond that will drive the industry as the information superhighways get into high gear. Drew Levinson, CBS News, Detroit.
We watch and report the news each night here at WYMT TV. Sometimes, with even all the high-tech gadgets that are made, it is the small mistakes of man that can often turn a newscast into confusion.
And here's a brief look at some of the mistakes that were made on the air
blooper
during the
reel.
last year, the bloopers of 1999.
Usually a newscast
This
will
is,
go flawless until
Kentucky,
a
I
technical problem or human error occurs. No matter how serious the situation can be, the giggles can destroy a cast. As this situation went on for days between the anchors and weatherman Tony Brown.
That because last week was pretty much almost unbearable outside, but now we are seeing the cooler temperatures come in and the chance of small rainfall tonight, but it does look like it's going to be quite enough. Are we okay? Yes. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at temperatures around the state right now. If we could look at that.
That's the worst. You just can't stop laughing. You had that on G4 a few times.
That is brought to you by Double Quick.
All right. Mayor Young. The whole world's gone crazy. The whole world's going crazy.
It's a wild place, man. It really is. But
Donald Trump,
will get
like,
better.
Donald Trump, like, I think really might go to jail. I feel like he might go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny how that possibly can happen.
There's already, well, I mean, listen, he did some crazy stuff. Like, you know, like I know everybody's like, well, why is it that he's being treated this way and no other presidents have ever been treated that way, this way before? And it's like, no other presidents have done the things that he's done on a number of different levels. So it's like
they interviewed him on Fox, right? Like he can't even get out of his own way.
No, absolutely not. Like, look, he doesn't have
But
to
it
do
makes
any
sense.
interviews.
Like when you're that much of a sociopath, like you don't see the normal course that other people do. You just make the wrong choices over and over. And,
It's a weird and crazy thing to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting election. This whole Robert Kennedy Jr. thing has been fascinating to watch flourish because people like that he's honest about certain things, but they don't like if he is honest about something they don't agree with. So I don't know. It'd just be interesting. I don't know who to believe anymore. I don't know who to believe anymore. There really is no way to know who's telling the truth anymore.
Well, look, all you do is you listen to what people say. Like you do what you've always done, which is like before. It's like it's not like we knew who was telling the truth and who wasn't. Like for a fact before now, all we know now is that more people are lying, or more people are comfortable with lying.
But like, do we really not think that everything that we've learned, that this coronavirus didn't come from a lab, and that they are memos that say that they were doing gain of function research, right? Like, so if that's true, shouldn't the people that are responsible for tipping the world upside down for a few years, shouldn't they be held accountable? It does seem that we're like, well, it's over now. I mean, maybe it was a bat, maybe it was a lab, but
I mean,
what do
no,
you think?
definitely they should be held accountable, but I think, what the circumstances are is important. Like the context, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, like you don't treat.
We're never going to get the actual context. That's the
I mean, we may
problem.
not, and it's unfortunate because I do feel like the fact that it became so politicized for us in this country right at the beginning, muddied the waters. Like we could have known the truth if we were all on the same page and like, hey, we're just gonna fight back this virus and we're good, and then we could get down to the bottom of it once we're out of it.
Some secret group using the black budget to do gain of function research, and there was word early on that was the case. I mean, they felt like if they don't lie and say this is not what happened, they would have been, I mean, at that point, if people were like, they're the ones that did it, oh my God, Fauci wouldn't have gotten out alive, right?
I mean, wait, but why would, wait, you're thinking like Dr. Fauci was one of the people?
Yeah, they have his memos. They have his own memos that he's a part of. Talking about gain of function research in 2019. In 2018.
But
in Wuhan,
so you're
at
saying
the Wuhan lab.
And so you're saying
and they were told, no, you're not allowed to do it, but they went and did it anyways.
Dr. Fauci did it anyway?
Yes.
Huh. So
I don't know. It's just that's what.
So the thought
people
is Dr.
believe.
Fauci was doing experiments.
They
with
believe that there was
Wuhan.
work that needed to be done on coronaviruses in order to truly understand blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And that there was an accident at the Wuhan lab in which it got out by accident. Not that they wanted to do it.
No, of course. I don't know.
But
I mean, like
the bat story was a way to pretend that this is just some random act of Mother Nature.
Right. No, I hear that. So I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, would we hold Dr. Fauci responsible for that?
Well, he's lied. If he's lied, I'm not saying he's responsible for the leak.
Yeah,
but the cover up is always worse than the crime. I
mean, I think it depends on the crime, right? Right? Like, because
how many people died from coronavirus?
Right, but what I'm saying
is,
you're
saying maybe the crime is worse than the cover.
Yeah, exactly, right.
But if we knew the truth, I guess it wouldn't have changed the outcome.
No, it doesn't change. And that's the whole thing where it's kind of like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they should lie about it. And it's not okay that you lie about it. But it's like, they say the saying is, it's not the crime, it's the cover up, because like people get in trouble because of the cover up, not in trouble because of what they were actually trying to do crime wise, because they can't even prove the crime. What they can prove is the cover up, and so that's the thing but in this case, it's like, no, like if this was an accidental leak, like we know now that, there is some, so the people that actually, made the mistake, I think should be held accountable. And it's like, definitely if Dr. Fauci was out here lying about it and knowingly, was like trying to mislead people, like, yeah, he should be held accountable for that too. But I'm not as concerned about that as I am like, okay, let's make sure that whatever happened that let this out, let's do stuff to make sure that that doesn't happen again. And then and the sad fact of the matter is, honestly, I feel like the big failure for America was us not all being on the same page about it.
Right. You can't get everyone on the same page as anything, right? Think about, is there anything that we're all on the same page about?
Well, no, but it's not all. It's just there's always going to be outliers. But the thing is, it's like because of what the political situation was like and the type of leadership we had in that moment, it allowed for people to feel more comfortable not getting behind things. And that's the problem, where it's like, it's okay. There's always going to be that guy, nobody's saying we're all going to be in unison in lockstep. The problem is when that guy gets to be like the biggest bullhorn. And so all the people that are kind of like on the fence about it, they're like, I think I'm gonna go over here and do it this way. And it's like half of us are doing one thing and half of us are doing something different. And people are just randomly dying from both camps. It's like, that's not okay. Like that's the problem. That's the problem, man. I'm like, dude, crazy. And it's crazy. Like, I feel like, I don't know. But who knows how it would have turned out. I mean, it's speculation, but I genuinely feel.
I just don't know how anyone could be down for another Biden term. I mean, he said God save the Queen the other day.
Listen, I mean, here's the thing.
Why shouldn't the president be 100% all there? Like, he might only be 2% dementia. 2% is too much for the president.
Yeah, but I guess the
Reagan was also the same way.
We're talking about something very subjective, right?
No. If the president of the United States finishes a speech with God save the Queen, he doesn't know the Queen died. Right?
No, I hear you, but what I'm saying is, like,
so
you're saying, okay,
he's not all there. He thinks the Queen's alive. The Queen's dead. My son knows the Queen's dead. He's 8. Why doesn't the president of the United States, a world leader, the most respected world leader, know that the Queen is dead and he trips on stage? I mean, he's not well. He's not well. He's not speaking well. He says the wrong thing. I don't know why this is a good look for us.
No, he's an old man. Like,
would you
like
want
almost every
someone like that performing surgery on your mom?
Of course not. No.
Okay, so why should he be president?
Well, listen, he should be president because the people elected him. That's the only reason.
No, I'm saying no one should vote him for a second term based on what we've seen.
Well,
anyone who doesn't care about the country. Anyone who votes Joe Biden for another term after seeing that he's not mentally all there means you'd rather have somebody who's not mentally all there but is handled by people that you think are making the right decisions. You think that's more important than actually having a candidate who's in control of his faculties. I don't understand.
I think we all want a candidate that's in control of their faculties, but let me ask
he's
you
not.
this question.
He's not. It's not.
No,
it's not.
I'm not.
But you're saying that he
is.
Huh? You're saying that you're saying that you don't think that that's not true. You think that he does have all.
I did not say that.
Don't you think someone that says God save the Queen is not all there?
Listen,
this is the president. This isn't someone who doesn't understand the monarchy. This is the Queen of England.
You're arguing the point with yourself. Like, I'm not arguing with you.
Right.
It's like, I'm not arguing.
But
what I am
you're saying that anyone that does vote for him doesn't. It's like.
What I am going to say, and listen, is it depends on the alternative. Because I don't know that. I think the country would. But you don't think the country would potentially be in a worse position under another?
If you're telling me that out of 300 million people that live in the United States. I don't know, maybe 150 million are able to be president. There's nobody else, no one else except the guy saying God save the Queen.
You're
Then
making,
we're
you're
worse
making
off.
an
And
you're making
things,
an
no, it's
extremist
not an
argument.
extreme thing. You're saying
are,
that the
you are.
only alternative is a guy that's not in control of his faculties.
Nobody's saying the only alternative. What we're saying is, what are the likely options?
Anyone that is in control of their faculties.
So you feel like the country would be in better hands under
With someone
Donald Trump
who's in
than,
control.
than Donald Trump than President
Donald
Biden?
Trump isn't running against him right now. We're talking about
Wait,
next election.
Donald Trump is the Republican frontrunner right now.
No, he's not. He's going to be in jail.
Yes, he
My
is.
point is,
like you're saying
right.
nothing. Like you're
Right,
not
but-
talking about
but
the reality situation.
He
You're
has,
talking
but
about
he hasn't
You're
gotten
talking
a
about-
nomination.
You're
He hasn't gotten
talking.
a
You're saying.
I'm
You
saying
don't feel like there's someone with a
I'm
more
talking to
mental-
Democrats. I'm talking to
You're-
Democrats, not Republicans.
But
Trump hasn't gotten a nomination yet. You have to decide who gets the Democratic nomination. You don't know who it is yet over there. It could be Mickey Mouse. Doesn't matter. Democratic nomination. If you vote for Joe Biden, you're voting for somebody. You're telling me that a guy without his faculties who's been in office his whole life and is unable to understand where he is at every moment in time because he's old and he's past his whatever, that's better than any other Democratic candidate. That's what they would have to be saying by voting
I'm not
for him.
saying that by any means, because like I would love, for instance, I would prefer, and ironically enough, somebody that's an old man as well. I'd prefer a Bernie Sanders to Joe Biden, and Bernie Sanders has all his mental faculties. But the reality
So
is,
if someone
and here's the
chooses
thing,
Joe Biden over Bernie Sanders, they hate this country.
they don't. No one hates the country.
They don't
very
want
few
what's best
people-
for this country.
See,
They
but
don't. They
that's
don't
not-
care about the future.
You can't look at it as
I
a
just
zero sum
think that
game
you're
because
do.
you to look at it like the only thing that matters in this moment is who the
But
Democratic
he's not
nominee-
making
You gotta
decisions,
listen.
Lawrence.
You gotta listen. The only thing that matters is who's the Democratic nominee, and it doesn't matter who the eventual Republican nominee is going to be, because the reality is whoever gets the Democratic nomination has to beat the Republican nominee. So to say don't look at that is setting yourself up for failure. You have to look. It does matter. How can it not matter?
Because you need to find the best candidate. It doesn't matter if they're running against the dead body of JFK or George Campo, the guy that whatever, Judge Santos. My point is, find the best candidate that represents you. Don't care about who they're going to prop up. And if you're telling me that the best candidate Democrats can find is Joe Biden, who does not make decisions and has a team of people that has to make his decisions because he's not mentally there, that to me says too much.
No one has said Joe Biden is the best Democratic nominee we could
If
ever
they
have.
vote for
No one has
him,
said that.
they are saying that.
Well, but
You
here's
vote
the
with
thing.
your vote
People-
is your
right.
opinion.
Right. People voted for Joe Biden.
Not
And
talking
so-
about voted. That's a different. It's okay to vote for him back then. They had to. We didn't know what kind of president he would be. Now we've seen him as president. We've
Right.
seen that since becoming president, his mental state has deteriorated. And in some places, it's downright embarrassing on a global stage to have a president that literally can't make a regular train of thought. He loses train of thought. He's lost. He falls. He's this. It's embarrassing. It just like Read 173 says, it's embarrassing, right? So fine. We don't have to always be like, you can be embarrassed of your leader. But what I'm saying is now that we've had a chance to see this, we need to find somebody better. And if you are okay with just putting this guy back in office, it says to me, it just speaks to me that you don't care that he's not able to make decisions. You just like things the way they are and you're afraid of change because there's no reason you should want this guy to stay in office. There's definitely other people who can do a better job. There has
I
to
agree
be.
with you.
He's literally one of the lowest of the barriers. He doesn't know where he is.
Here's
sometimes.
the question, though. Here's the question, and here's the thing. I agree that there's definitely a number of people that could do the job better. How many people are there that can win?
Well, we won't know until you get him the nomination. If we keep going, well, they won't win against Biden. Nah, let's just put Biden again. Well, and then Biden will be president 4 more years, and then they'll be like, well, we can't try someone new. We need Hillary again because she knows. And then we were stuck with this Biden, Obama, Clinton, Bush, Biden, Obama, Clinton, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Obama, Biden.
Why is Obama in the conversation? Like Obama
because
is literally
Biden is part of Biden got the presidency because everyone had such good feelings about Obama. They allowed Biden to take Obama's place. They're like, well, Obama trusted him, so I trust him. So he got trust by proxy. And now all the stuff that he said he would do, he lied about almost everything. Like even he has been breaking his campaign promises that he can remember. So it's like, I've seen enough. I've seen 3 years. He lied. He's not in control of his faculties. His team
who would you like to vote for?
Slowed down innovation. I don't know. I'm ready to see some. I'm ready. I'm ready for these primaries. I'm ready for these debates. I'm ready for people to step up. I believe there's young whippersnappers out there that are going to take the stage and make us proud. But I think anybody that's even considering Joe Biden for another term is stuck in the past and unwilling to look to the future.
So you feel like that it makes sense for the party that's in control to go ahead and just challenge.
He's an
the
embarrassment.
incumbent.
He's embarrassing.
Is he more embarrassing than Donald Trump?
He's getting there. The fact that he doesn't know
No,
where
he is absolutely not. Really? Like literally, world leaders laughed in his face.
Joe Biden referred to somebody that has been dead for 3 years. He asked where that person was at a meeting.
Listen, yeah, I hear you, but
that's not making fun of someone for being disabled, but that's incompetent. You're not competent. You don't know what's going on. He needs medical attention. Get him a cold compress.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that President Trump has shown, like he literally
it's not about Trump. It's about him. But it's not about Trump anymore. That's the whole problem. You're trying to compare Biden to Trump and then say, well, it's better than Trump. Who cares? Let's start electing people that are good in their own, not that are just better than the worst possible outcome.
But I'm just saying by the logic that you're talking about here, because there are people right now, what it's looking like on the right side is they're going to back that guy all the way. So what you're talking about right now is saying this guy's an embarrassment and we can't have him. And so we should not support him.
Definitely
but then
not support him.
But right. But we don't have an alternative right now.
Well, how do you create an alternative? You remove the guy that everyone thinks can't be beat because we have to honor Joe Biden. We have to honor him. He served. You know what? If everyone goes, Joe Biden's lost it. He's out. All these young Democratic hopefuls will see an opportunity to step up. And I'd like to let them step up.
You're talking to me and the people that are thinking like I'm thinking right now, as though we don't have the best country's interest in mind. And
if you want Joe Biden to be the nominee,
listen.
And I find that hard to believe.
Sort of personality around Joe Biden, and that's not the case at all. Like nobody is.
There is
a hard Biden.
This administration has created this cult of Joe Biden that insulates him from any criticism and keeps anyone from being able to. Anyone that criticizes Joe Biden is a Nazi or a right-wing nut. That's the way it's treated. That's the way the media does it. And I'm just saying, at some point, it's okay to be embarrassed by a president that can't remember people are dead as much as you are for them doing, Kanye in the West Wing on Sunday prayer. Like I remember that. that was nuts too.
What I'm saying to you is right now you're bringing me a problem with no solution. It's like there's nothing
The
wrong with calling
solutions
out
happen
the
in
problem.
primaries. That's when it happens.
Solution. What?
Meaning
We need
other
it.
candidates.
We need this.
Let me ask you. Let's say
need the candidate now.
wanted to run for president, okay?
Uh-huh.
And you had great support from all of your followers in Los Angeles and from the gaming community. They've heard your platform and they believe you speak for them. But when we go to the Democratic convention to say, hey, we've got the guy, young 24, they're like, oh, well, I don't think you understand the repercussions of going up against Trump. See, we need Biden because he's already shown that he can beat Trump. So I'm sure Lawrence is a great guy, and we'll get behind him in any local races that he's in. But we really need to focus on, Joe's team and supporting Joe. And it's like, yeah, that's a losing scenario. And that's exactly why I have a problem with it, because you would never get a chance because the infrastructure will push you out just like they pushed Bernie out to support Hillary, and which is why she lost and which is why Trump won, right? Because they pushed out all the good people that could have been good candidates because they wanted to support Hillary. And that's what's going to happen again with Biden, unless you come out early and say, we've seen enough. This is over. This hasn't worked. Kamala, great. I'm all for Kamala. Just make Kamala the nominee. Say Joe Biden realizes he's too old. He can't represent us the way someone young. And then boom, you get Kamala to take over that process. But at least then you can have a debate where people don't feel like she's been chosen. Sure, she's going to get his support. But at that point, it's wide open. And until he's gone, I don't think we can be wide open.
I mean, yeah, we'll see. I feel like that plan would fail, unfortunately, just because, and not because, like, here's the thing. All Joe Biden would have to do is say that he's not running. Like, if he did that, then it'll be a whole different conversation that we're having.
He should say that.
He decided.
If he wants to do that on this show, I will give him this platform.
And here's the thing, like, right, if you mess around and he's like, hey, I know I'm getting up here in years and I know that I shouldn't be doing this. His wife would have a better chance, unfortunately, than Vice President Harris, which is sad to say, but it's true. Because
why do you think that? Why does Harris have no chance?
I think, unfortunately, she well, I won't say she. What I will say is she's not in a favorable enough position, I think, to win over the people, like in a general election. And I
don't know why people don't like her. I don't find it. There's literally nothing about her that bothers me. I know people say that she was like putting people in jail and she was a tough district attorney or whatever. But since she's come into the public and since she's been on the stage of vice president, I have not once ever seen anything where I was like, I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Not even a little bit. But with him, it's almost a weekly occurrence. So I don't have any problem with her. I literally am embarrassed that we feel like this is the best we can do. The country of America, with all this innovation and young technology, we have this old guy who doesn't know where he is as our leader, which just tells everyone he's not really in charge. There's a bunch of people in the CIA and FBI and his inner circle that make all these decisions, and then we just tell them what to say, which might be true with Obama too, but at least I didn't think that every time Obama got up and talked.
I think that the country is in a very weird spot right now. And I think because of where we are, that's why you have President Biden.
I feel like, are we in a weird spot, right? Like I look back, but look, 1999, Columbine school shootings, Timothy McVeigh, right wing militias blowing up a government building because they don't like the government. Like, has things really changed? Like, nothing's different. What's different?
I mean, dude, like,
we're still
people
dealing with
storming-
militias who hate the government and they blow stuff up. We're still
not-
dealing with wars started by politicians that basically don't have any skin in the game. Like, nothing's changed except the speed of email or the speed of global communication.
I think the main thing that's changed is the comfort that people feel in holding certain positions, things that we would have thought of as extreme on either side.
Like what?
Are like, I mean, just like the idea that, for instance, you know, like how people felt like, there are people that felt like what happened at the Capitol was a justified, like, protest.
But there are people that feel like what happened in Oklahoma City was justified. These militias, there are plenty of right-wing militias that think that the federal government is overreaching, Waco and all these things.
But the difference is, those at the time, we thought of those views as fringe.
We still do. Oh, you're saying that they're, but I think that story revealed that it wasn't fringe, that it was a sentiment among many middle Americans.
No. That's the thing where it was.
You don't think the militia movement gave birth to the Tea Party, which let us know, hey, these people are fucking everywhere. They're not fringe.
But
the Tea Party wasn't fringe. It was the part that was showing, but it was just the fringe of the rug that is laid across the country.
See, but that's the whole point that I'm making, where it's like, even at the time when the Tea Party first came out, it was still considered fringe. And slowly but surely, the fringe view has become mainstream. Hence why you have people in the Republican Party today that are literally like sitting members of Congress that
is
espouse these ideas. Like,
and you know why?
It's
why that's
mainstream.
happening is because we've taught everyone that if you really want to make change in this country, go and get elected to an office and make change at a local level. And I think that there are people realizing that if you can put people into power in local election offices and specific roles, you get more done than if you just start blowing up a library. So you're right. What's changed is they've become more politically aware, and they understand that the way to change the system is to poison it from the inside.
But it's not more politically aware, because that's always been taught. The difference was people didn't run for those offices because they knew they couldn't win. And as you got more people espousing ideas and giving permission to other people to potentially hold them and legitimize them, that's when you can get the political power, because there's enough people in a small space to be on the fence, like, you know what, maybe it is the Mexicans. And now all of a sudden that person is somebody's city councilman or somebody's friggin' senator or whatever. And so that's the whole point I'm making, is like, this has been a slow ramp up. And when people were saying that was the case before, they were called alarmists. And they were saying, like, no, you're talking nonsense. There's no way that
you can't.
Nazi will
well,
ever
but that's
be a member
the whole thing
of
with
Congress.
conspiracy, right? Like, people who would have said there were conspiracy, and now
they dismiss.
You kind of have to rip the mask off and realize that fascism is alive and it's part of our Congress,
a mainstream political party.
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying is, you can't mess around and be like, oh, it's just like how it was, because no, like, I remember I was there. It's not like how it was. I'm not saying that these people didn't exist. They definitely existed, and they had communities and they talked to each other or whatever, but they were irrelevant. Now you can't say they're irrelevant. Like, they messed up. Like, they are very relevant, and they might become even more so if you mess around and, like, I don't know, like, again, and this is part of the reason why I'm like, I can't mess around and be like, oh, I'm absolutely not going to vote for Joe Biden
Mhm.
because the
I am voting
alternative
for Joe Biden.
and that's okay. Like, that is your right as an American. I want
Right.
you to vote for whoever you want to vote for. What I'm
Yes.
saying is the stakes are different now because we've seen what a President Trump is like in office, and that was before he lost once. You know what I'm saying? If this fool
Mhm.
gets back in, who knows what this fool might try to do? You know, like
Yeah.
especially considering, like, thinking like, oh, okay, well, you know, the people want me here. You know, for all we know, you know, like, I'd rather have a friggin' crazy, damn near senile Joe Biden in office than a Donald Trump that might try to, like, literally, like,
Right, but
seize
Trump is
power
not coming
and
back.
and
Telling
and
you
hold
Trump
on
is
to
not
it.
coming back. He's not coming.
I mean,
All right.
look, he shouldn't have been there in the first place.
True. I did want to see him elected because I thought he would shake things up.
Yeah,
I didn't
see?
think he would do what he did. I did think it would
And
be
that's
good for the system to
but
get a shock.
but that's the problem, though. See, is he showed people who he was, and people decided that it's not that bad, and that's the weird thing.
Well,
Where it's like,
because a lot of the stuff, I remember those early debates where he called out a lot of the bullshit that is double standard and is
Right.
wrong with government, right? And that's kind of how he got you, is he was willing to dip his toe into the stuff that people know is bullshit that doesn't get called out, all while wrapping it in the Nazi and all that other stuff. So it's like, you have to take the whole burger. You can't just eat the meat,
See,
right? Like, you
and
gotta
that's
eat
the whole
thing.
that's the whole point, where a majority of America decided, or, well, I guess, like, technically it wasn't a majority, but enough of America, a significant enough amount of America decided
They were annoyed.
you know what? Let's see what happens, even though he sounds a little bit like he hates people of color. You know,
I do think it's but it was. I never looked at him like that because he's done such a good job of putting himself on TV, interacting, multiracial. You know, he's a TV personality, and he sold that. He sold that personality for a reason. However, it is interesting now how people say, you know, let him come back so he can really, you know, clean things up. It's like, wait a minute, you knucklehead. He said lock her up. He was in president for 4 years. He never locked her up. All the stuff that he said he was going to do, he never did any of that shit. So it's just like, I can't take anyone seriously when they talk about him now, because it's like, he literally could have blown the lid on Julian Assange stuff, blown the lid on Kennedy assassination, blown the lid on aliens, blown the lid on Hillary, everything. And he didn't do shit. Which just tells me that either the president doesn't get to decide what gets revealed, or he had other things he had to do for his boss, and his boss is Nikita, his secret. I believe that Melania was like Putin's watchdog. Like, she was his handler.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She was.
Melania was reporting back.
Absolutely. I'd be like, he took out a loan he couldn't pay back. Like, all right, you get Melania, but she's going to tell us everything. And I love the story that Trump doesn't like to be in the same room with his son Barron, because Barron's taller than him, and no one's allowed to be taller than Trump. I was like, even if that's not true, I hope to God that's true. Like, can you imagine? He's so freaked out that his son, his 15-year-old son's taller than him, that he's like, I can't be in the room with him. Ugh.
That's
I leave you with one final piece of content from Philly Galinsky, and we'll have more E3 1999 next time. If you want to win the headphones, please send us an email. Just say I want them. That's it. All right, Mary Young, enjoy this. Ooh, my favorite episode.
Strange planet, isn't it, Alan? Yes, it is, Force. Very strange. Strange and dark. And mysterious. Alan! Yes, Force. Do you know what time it is? Yes, let me check my watch. It is, according to my watch, my men's Sunray silver tab with a hypnotic kinetic orange face and sleek black neoprene strap.
Omega
this
watch
ultra hip watch
sponsorship.
tells you the time, date, and day. An accessory that gets noticed. It's water resistant to boot, Force. It's water resistant to boot. Thank God for Thank God for Levi's men's Sunray watch, or we'd be in a lot of
A
trouble
Levi's
on the
watch.
dark planet. That's right.
There you go.
You need to get a
No
cape
wonder
like that.
Pseudo went out of business. All right, we'll see you next time, everybody. Derek,
Later,
if you
folks.
want to be on the show, anyone that wants to be on the show, please call in. We'd love to have you as a special guest.
Woo.